Video check. We are live. All right, that is good to see. Thank you everyone for tuning in and welcome along to the coverage here in Montreal, Canada. We have got the race starting in 1 hour's time exactly, and the rain, unfortunately, that I was talking about yesterday and I was talking about on Friday is looking rather unlikely to arrive. So I had a look at the forecast and it's looking potentially, 5%, even lower than that. So suboptimal, really, to say the least, about the weather. Who knows, maybe, we've got an hour, we could potentially do a rain dance to get that turned around and maybe something will happen. But no, the forecast as of right now has pushed the rain that was going to arrive in the next hour or so. That's been pushed back about 5 hours, all the way till past midnight in Canada. Okay. Was raining earlier, but the track is dry after F2 and the Academy. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't look like it's going to be wet for Formula One for all intensive purposes, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, F1 Gamer just finished your sprint coverage stream, now onto the race. Life is good. Well, yeah, life is going pretty well, actually, I think. Hope everyone is doing alright. KO stands for knocked out, so, in qualifying, we had the bottom 12 knocked out, and that's what the KO stands for. And yeah, okay, so what do I need to do? I'll bring up some of the information. It looks like it's going to be a one stop today, around a 19-second pit stop time. Oh yeah, that was the thing that I needed to do. I was trying to think of something before the stream and I just couldn't figure it out. 19-second pit stop loss. There we go. Ooh. All right. You did something to your face? Yeah, I shaved, so that's what it was. Murray Ellis, thanks for becoming a channel member. Much appreciated there, buddy. Cheers for helping out the channel. All right. Do you think Lance could manage to get P15? Potentially, right? There's always chances of mechanical issues up ahead. We had quite a few mechanical issues during the sprint, and drivers sending dive bombs and things like that. So potentially things could occur, right? Are they starting on the mediums? Well, look, we will have a look at the race strategy, and I'll show you what we're expecting. But it does seem like the medium tires is a good choice to start the race on. So, oh no, wrong one. Yeah, this is our race strategy. So the quickest order of tires to go is start the race on the mediums, then onto the hard tires. Those are your two options, and the second quickest strategy apparently is just the alternate. So you start on the hards, then go on to the mediums. Strategy 3, start on the softs, then go on to the hards. It could work, it gives you a bit of an advantage off the line on the first couple of laps. If you want to make some moves, that might be a good one to go for. And strategy 4 is a 2-stop, but yeah, around here in Canada, typically we do get a 1-stop strategy because the tyre wear itself is just not that high. And then strategy number 5, start the race on the mediums and then go on to the softs at the end. That's only really going to work if track temperature is really low. Given that it did rain earlier today, that could mean that track temperature is slightly lower and it's overcast, so that means there's not going to be any sun warming the track up. So it could be a potential strategy, but it is a little bit of risky and a bit of a gamble. So I suspect what we'll rather see, rather than going from mediums to softs, we're much more likely to see the medium tyre stint get extended much, much further on, from 21 to 27 laps all the way up to 35 to 40 laps or so, and then they'll go the rest of the distance on hards. Yeah. But that's our strategy as of today. We've got these are the tyres available for the race. I mean, you guys can have a look there, but there's not too many key things to note given that everyone is just going to be doing a one stop for the most part. We do have, everyone in the top 10 has at least one fresh set of medium tyres to start the race on. In fact, not everyone in the top 10, everyone has at least one fresh set of mediums to start the race on. So that is all good. LJ the man, thanks for the donation there, buddy. Long time no chat. How are you? All best wishes. I'm doing great, actually. I'm doing great. Hope you are. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I hope you are doing well. Also, folks, if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. It goes a long way to helping out the channel, especially at the start of the live stream. Is there any scenario where one of the Mercs do not win the World Drivers' Championship? Well, as of right now, the threat that we are seeing is coming from McLaren, right? They are they're not that far away if you look at it. So McLaren, what are they? They are a tenth back from Antonelli, a tenth and a half back from George Russell. The margin isn't that big. Lando Norris thinks to himself that he could have extracted a little bit more pace out of the end of Q3. I think all of the drivers, if you're not on pole position, all tend to think that in a way. But yeah, that couldn't be done for Lando Norris. But they do pose a threat, and of course they are also doing quite well in the constructors, aren't McLaren and Lando Norris, right? So you see McLaren there, 106 points to their name, only 11 behind Ferrari, and then you've got Mercedes quite the ways up ahead. But, it still indicates that McLaren has got a reasonably competitive car, and by the looks of it, they have potentially leapfrogged the Ferrari team, at least in race pace. We're looking here at the standings as well. Charles Leclerc, 63 points to his name. It's going to be a bit of a rough weekend for him. He said during qualifying, either I'm going to be in P8 or I'm going to crash into the wall. And, he ended up in P8 as a matter of fact. So, yeah, he said he described it as his worst weekend of his career so far. And, well, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but, he's not having a great time. He hasn't had the best of luck around Montreal in the past couple of seasons, whereas we have had a few other drivers that have been really good, right? We've got George Russell, who got pole position here in 24, in 25, then in the sprint race in 26, and again now here in the qualifying as well. So George Russell goes pretty well around here in Montreal. We'll see if he can continue on. I think we'll be getting the data loading through soon enough, actually. Yeah, not too long now before the data comes through for the race. And this was just the other thing, 83% chance of safety car in the past 7 years. So, I think chance of safety car pretty high. It is a relatively narrow circuit. You've got walls on either side for the most part of the racetrack. Then in terms of pit stop loss, you lose 18 and a half seconds or so under green flag conditions, and 9.5 seconds under safety car or virtual safety car conditions. So quite a big lap time saving there, around 10 seconds or so. Will it rain? It's looking unlikely. But I will let you know if it happens. Name an F1 driver for an edit. Well, I think I'm going to name Sebastian Vettel. Yeah. Why not? Weather update, it's looking to be dry. It rained earlier on and the track was wet before, but it's all drying up right now. Mostly dry as of this very moment, so. You think at any point in F1 history someone has lost control because he sneezed? Got to have happened, right? Because so many races, so many drivers. Yeah, I think it must have happened at some point, right? Like just down to the stats of it. It's fairly likely that someone maybe not lost control, but I think they have definitely lost lap time because you can always sort of expect a sneeze coming, and if you can expect a sneeze coming, then you're probably not going to be driving on the limit of grip. You're probably going to back off just a little bit, let the sneeze pass, and then continue on. So yeah, haven't asked that though. I would be interesting to get an F1 driver's opinion on it, but maybe I'm not sure. They'll just not sneeze somehow. Tough to say. Can track evolution be expected? Indeed so, indeed so. As of course, the rain will have fallen, it will have washed away a lot of the rubber that has been deposited on the racetrack, so the track is expected to get quicker as the laps go by. How's it going to affect the tyres that we choose? I mean, we're just going to... It will still probably be medium to hards, but it just means the drivers have less to worry about in terms of tyre wear. Okay. At F1 Gamer, can you name a car for an edit? Please not a BMW, kind of overused. Let's say a Alfa Romeo Giulia, the green one. Why not? F1 Gamer, what's the chance of rain? Well, look, if you go onto Google now and you check, it will say 0% chance of rain if you search Montreal weather. So, but I'm sure if you check a few other sources, it might be slightly different. It's tough to say. It's meteorology at the end of the day. We get an early season recap. Can Hamilton finish top 3? What's happening with Max? Ooh, a season recap. Well, first race of the season, George Russell won. Since then, Antonelli has won every single race. And the Mercedes power unit seems to be the best power unit on the grid. We've got Ferrari with really good race starts. We have McLaren that have made some big progress in the last race or two. Red Bull, they were severely overweight at the start of the season. They still probably are a little bit overweight, and right now they're having some setup issues and drivability problems. Both Max Verstappen and Isaac Hadjar said that they didn't maximize qualifying. There was still more performance left on the table, but they were unable to extract it because of the warm-up procedure, and they couldn't get the tyres in the correct window. And as for the rest of the season update, I could say the Aston Martin's not doing so great, in fact terribly. They had a lot of vibration issues early on. I think they have been fixed by now. We've got the Williams team that I thought would do really, really well this season that have been a bit lackluster. Cadillac made some nice steps forward. They're not that far back off the rest of the grid. And yeah, Audi doing all right as well. But Kobe Collects, thanks for the $5 donation there. Much appreciated. And F1 Gamer, are the teams allowed to change their setups? They are not. So the FIA has declared the potential for a rain hazard. They have said that, oh yes, there is a chance that rain is going to arrive tomorrow, and hence we are just letting you know that we could allow you to modify your setups for the race tomorrow, but as of that very moment, we haven't given authorization yet, and they still haven't given authorization because it's very likely that we are going to have a dry race, and for that reason, we are not going to have... because we're going to have a dry race, they're not going to change their setups. Which VPN to use for free? It is Service TV this weekend, so Austrian VPN. You've got to make an account. I think Service TV have changed a few things up, but you just got to make an account, and then you can still watch the coverage. Okay. How many laps? We'll be doing 70 laps of racing here in Montreal, and it'll be one pit stop. Okay. What else have we got going on here in the chat? F1 Gamer, what's your favourite food? My favorite food, it's gotta be chicken biryani. Yeah. My favorite driver is Seb Vettel. It's been a while actually. I don't think I've had that question all weekend. But yes, no, favorite driver is Seb Vettel, and I'm on the current grid right now. Who did I say I support? I think Alonso I said, and also Piastri. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too really bothered about who's doing well and who's not on the current grid, to be honest. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we're now 45 minutes away from the start of the race. We should have the pit lane exit opening soon enough, and we have got the live timing data come through. So I'll just pop that up on the screen. Give me a sec. All right, brilliant. All right, I'm just going to pin that message there saying no rain today, folks. So there you go. Is it raining in Montreal? Well, look, I'm gonna Google the weather, and it says, oh, it's gone up to 10% chance of rain, but even then, no, I don't think it is going to rain. I mean, look, I would love for the commentator's curse to just come through right now and say if it's and say that and start pouring it down, but from the FIA race control, they have like a little notification that comes through when it's raining and when it's not, and right now it says rain equals no. So there you go, folks. The FIA is saying that it's not raining, so we must believe them. F1 Game, are you from India? Yes, I am. The stream started so early. Yeah, I mean, typically, I always start the race streams 1 hour early. Every other stream is half an hour early. I am thinking maybe I am going to change it a little bit. I think maybe for practice sessions and quali sessions, I might only start 15 minutes early. But it is, yeah, I'm not sure just yet. We'll see. Okay. What else is there to talk about then? Yeah, Colapinto actually outperforming Pierre Gasly. A bit of a surprise, but I think Colapinto's doing a nice job here. Finally finding his feet in Formula One a little bit. Of course, with these new cars, got a bit more to adapt to, a bit more of a level playing field, of course, because I'd say while when Colapinto joined Formula One, of course, the era of cars that he was driving, Gasly had a lot more experience than him. And now that they've both got the same amount of experience in the current generation of cars, that might be helping out Colapinto, and doing quite well. So would be good to see him continue to improve, and we'll see how it goes for him. BBC Weather says 79% chance of rain. Never say never. Really? BBC Weather. Okay. I mean, I'll happily check. BBC Weather Montreal. What is it saying right now? Oh, it is. It is saying 78% chance of rain. But then Google says 10% chance of rain. And the FIA says it's not raining as of this very moment. But they have allowed the little tents, the awnings or the gazebos, whatever you want to call them, the tents about on top of the cars. They say you are allowed to use them if you would like. And they said that about 10 minutes ago. But yeah, nobody's used, as far as I can tell. It's not really an issue right now. Winds coming from the south on Montreal, slower top speeds, more battery drain on the main straight southbound against the wind. That is correct, but you also then have to take into account that, on the other side of the lap, what goes around comes around, so then they'll have a tailwind for the remaining parts of the lap when they're going in the other direction. So, but yeah, we will get a bit more battery usage. And the wind speed has picked up, to be fair. It was around, I think it was 6 to 8 kilometers per hour during the past couple of days, but now it's picked up to 15. So yeah, that'll change things. Drive of the day prediction. Well, I can't predict drive of the day, no. So it's a bit of a tough one to do. Who knows, really? Let's go Carlos Sainz. Let's go smooth operator. Okay. Thanks everyone for tuning in. By the way, we've got, 2,800 people tuning into the live stream. Much appreciated. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. It goes a long way to helping out the channel. Also, by the way, track temperature is down at 17 degrees Celsius. So it is far lower than what it was yesterday. And even what it was on Friday. So on Friday, it was 40 degrees. Then yesterday, it was 30 degrees. And now it's down at 17. So, it is, I'm happy about that because it's going to mix things up a little bit, and but that also on the flip side does mean that we are going to have a little bit more tyre wear, a little bit less tyre wear, sorry, and probably means we're going to have a one-stop strategy. But let's wait and see, right? Can't jump to conclusions just yet. Okay. AccuWeather is saying 66% chance of rain. Okay. Who knows? Okay, well, maybe I'll get rid of the no rain today, folks, because it's all a bit up in the air. Why is Charles in 8th position? Did he have a problem during quali? He had a setup issue or something of that sort. He just was complaining about a total lack of grip. So, yeah, that's what Charles Leclerc was talking about over quali. Yeah, a bit unfortunate really for Charles, but we'll see what he can do really. He'll of course still have the Ferrari launch off the line, which means that he should be able to gain a couple of places, potentially against Hadjar and Verstappen, and yeah, we'll see how the rest of the race plays out for him. Yeah, right now it's the reconnaissance lap. The drivers are just driving around the circuit. They'll be getting a feel for the conditions right now, as it is a lot cooler and the wind has picked up a little bit more. And yeah, they'll just be coming into the pit lane, making sure everything works and things like that. And then they'll find themselves on the grid soon enough. So every meteorologist is disagreeing with each other. Sounds about right. Yeah, it does. I mean, if we have someone at the circuit, or if we have someone nearby to Montreal in Canada, then that would be fantastic. If you guys could let me know what the weather is looking like nearby you. From that, maybe we can make some guesses as to what's going to happen in Montreal. Okay. SRF showing the race live with VPNs. Yep, that is correct as well. What about Hadjar? He was P1 in Q2. I overslept before Q3, sadly. He was P1 in Q2. However, the rest of the drivers improved just by a huge amount, and Hadjar just didn't really, and he couldn't put his lap together towards the end of Q3. So he again, the press conference was like, I could have improved. I could have done a lot better, but it wasn't to be. The Red Bull was being very temperamental in terms of its setup. Oh, we see some raindrops here on the camera, folks. Raindrops on the camera. Okay. We might be getting absolute cinema just very shortly. So, would like to confirm raindrops on the camera, but the drivers are still out on slicks. There is no intermediate tires in sight. On the drone shots, there's a few raindrops. On some of the cameras by the TV, by the track, there is also some more raindrops. So, yeah. Let's see. 2011 Canadian Grand Prix is so back. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great. It'd be great if we had a race that was that long. Ideally, with not that many red flags, just a long race with lots of action. But, Was Alonso in 19th position? Was he not fighting for the title in 2006? He was fighting for the title in 2006, but his fortunes have changed dramatically since then, and he's now at the back of the grid with Aston Martin Honda. Very light rain, cold at the circuit. It is very, very light rain. Like, you can see damp patches on the circuit, and you can also see a majority dry line, right? Most of the circuit is dry. You can see a few drops here and there. And even if it is going to rain, it's not going to be a downpour. It's not going to be a thunderstorm. Very light rain for the most part. F1 Gamer, have you played Forza Horizon 6? I have not, actually. To be honest, I still have my dissertation to write. So once I finish my university degree, then potentially, this light's a little bit bright. Then potentially could hop on some Forza, but no, I haven't played Forza Horizon 5 either. I've only played 3 and 4, but they've got to say there were some pretty good games. It would be great if you could add info about the batteries. Well, I would love to do the same as well. Unfortunately, the FIA or the Formula 1 TV do not broadcast the battery information to us, so there is unfortunately no way that I can, pop it up on the screen. I would love to have it up on the screen so we could know who's got battery. Is there an opportunity for someone to attack? But unfortunately, that is not the case, and the best guess that we can do is just guess, really. Yeah, the best guess we can do is guess. Oh, surprise, surprise. Hey mate, how do you feel about Arvid and Kushmani? They're really keeping our country up there. Yeah, I mean it's good. I mean Arvid Lindblad is doing brilliant, right? Every session that we've had so far in the Canadian Grand Prix weekend, Arvid Lindblad has been top 10. So he's done a pretty good job for himself, and it's his first time here in Canada as well. So rookie, never driven at the circuit before, and top 10 every single session in sprint weekend. Bro, how to use Proton VPN. So what you want to do is you download it onto your computer or on your phone or whatever it is. You then join an Austrian VPN server. You go onto Google, you search Servers TV Formula 1, and then you enjoy. Job done. While on the track, if the race is 30 minutes later, what they're doing right now is coming out the garage, and then they'll be lining themselves up on the grid positions. So you can see here that most of the drivers just here waiting, like Lando Norris and the rest of them, and in about 5 to 10 minutes time, you'll see all of these drivers line themselves up on the grid. Okay. All right. Oh, we do have the teams actually putting up their little tents now. So we have got the tents there waiting for the cars, so the cars don't get too wet. F1 Gamer, any reason why Russell is so good here? Yeah, I'm not actually sure why Russell is. Oh, wait. Piastri says, honestly, I have no idea. It's really tough on a slick, but I'm surprised if the intermediates are going to work. So it's a little bit close here, folks. So potentially wet conditions, potentially slick conditions. So it's all a bit up in the air right now. Pierre Gasly's not so certain. Oscar Piastri's not so certain on what to do. And as of why George Russell is really good around this racetrack, I'm not particularly sure. Maybe it just suits his driving style. Maybe he just really likes driving around here. It's tough to say, but he's quite good at the racetrack. Did Russell get a penalty? No, Russell's still starting in first position. Okay. What tyres do they use on their recon laps? They use some old soft tyres that they used during quali. So that's what everyone is using. And oh, more rain is arriving, folks. Let's go. The rain is getting harder, ladies and gentlemen. more good news, folks. More good news. George Russell waving to the fans before the race has even begun. Got to respect it. Got to respect it. He already knows he's going to win, so he's already started waving to the fans. But yeah, the rain's getting harder. It's not just sweat on George Russell's visor. It is raindrops. Okay. Oh no, this is the replay from yesterday, right? Okay, never mind. The replay from yesterday where Russell was waving to the fans. Yeah, Russell. Okay. F1 Gamer, what was your first F1 race? My first F1 race, 2018 Spa. 2018 Spa. Oh, is Stroll starting from the pit lane? No, it's still a little bit more time. He could leave the pit lane, but there is a chance that he does start from the pits. I'll keep you updated, folks. Getting our hopes up. No, the rain is still from today. Sorry. However, the George Russell waving to the fans, that was from yesterday. Okay. 4,000 people here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you're doing all right. Pit lane exit is closed. Lance Stroll remains in the pit lane. Lance Stroll will be starting the race from the pits. So yeah, some more setup changes clearly to be made there for Stroll. Of course, they're using more that, Aston Martin have a habit of doing this. They're just using this like a test session at the end of the day. They've got so much more to improve that they might as well just carry on doing the same thing. Okay. All right. Lance Stroll leads the Canadian Grand Prix. Yeah. I don't think Lance Stroll is going to lead the Canadian Grand Prix, but it's not so much good news really for the Canadian fans with Stroll starting from the pits. But I'm sure a lot of them do support a few other drivers as well. Yeah. Also, I did want to ask this: is for all of the Canadian people that are watching, I presume we've got more Canadian people than normal this weekend. Is the biggest sport in Canada the ice hockey, or is there some other sport that is bigger than that? Because yeah, I think the NHL is the biggest thing in Canada right now. Well, apart from the fact that we're gonna have Formula One and also the World Cup. Now, there's going to be a few World Cup games in Canada, I think, right? It's being held across Canada, the US, and Mexico. Ice hockey. I think, yeah, ice hockey, yeah, right. I'm sure they'll support other drivers as well. Casual Duncan Shaw. I mean, it's always there's a few backhanded compliments to Stroll. All right. Elon Pinot. Fuck the Habs. The Habs are doing quite well now in the playoffs. They're just hanging on, aren't they? Yeah. I've been informed this by one of my Canadian friends that is a big fan of the National Hockey League. All right. So 70 laps of racing here in Canada, folks. I will take you through the strategy options, and then I will also take you through the flying lap of the circuit. I haven't got a lap recorded actually in wet conditions, but it is what it is. Okay, the race strategy situation is looking like this. This is what it's going to be most likely, unless the drivers, of course, start on intermediate tyres, which will, totally mix things up. But it is looking like start the race on the mediums, then on to the hard tyres. Now, there is a chance that we do have quite a few drivers switch on to the soft tyres. And the reasoning behind that is that when the track is cold, when it is damp a little bit, the ideal way to sort of deal with that is to have a softer compound of rubber on, because that softer compound heats up easier, it retains its heat a little bit better, and it allows you to push a little bit harder. And because the track temperature isn't high, you're not going to get huge amounts of tyre wear anyway. So I think there is a chance that we will get a few drivers experimenting their way onto the soft tyres and then going for the hards for the remainder of the race. But for the first stint or so, to prevent any sort of mistakes happening, to give them a little bit more confidence, maybe even a little bit more pace than the medium tyre runners, the soft tyres could be a good choice. It is a little wet right now. Oh, I just wobbled my entire table. Yeah, a little wet right now, a little wet. What the heck are we watching? This band and dancers are killing me. Yeah, there's I'm not sure really. Not too familiar with Canadian culture apart from maple syrup. Oh yeah, this was the other thing, folks. Maple syrup plus ice cream. Honestly, incredible combination of food. It's a life-changing experience, I would say. So yeah, I highly recommend. I'm sure most people in Canada have probably tried this already, but yeah, I only found out about it like about a month ago or something. Anyway, 24 minutes remain on the clock, and Albon's GPS is glitched out. Pretty standard stuff. And that's about that. Okay, just looking at the race pace simulations, right? These are not going to be the most accurate numbers that you've seen in the world, but they are, a bit of a reference point to go off. These are from the sprint race, so of course there will be some setup changes that have been made over the course of the sprint race in towards quali and the actual race. And yeah, Ferrari looking to be second fastest alongside there with McLaren. Their race pace looks a little better than their quali pace, and the fact that the Ferraris will be good off the line will also help them out. Red Bull a little bit further behind, and they've been having troubles with their setup problems. Further back there, you've got Alpine looking good. The Racing Bulls also, especially in the hands of Arvin Lindblad, are looking pretty solid. I think Audi have made a big step forward from sprint quali, managing to close the gap to the Alpines and the Racing Bulls. And then Williams have dropped back a bit alongside Haas. And then you've got Cadillac and Aston Martin at the back of the grid as always. Try Nutella with cookies and cream ice cream. Okay, I shall give it a go. Yeah, it's reasonably warm out here in the UK today. I think it might be one of the hottest days on record, but yeah, it's so yeah, good time to try that one out. Let's hope it rains maple syrup. Yeah, maple syrup's not got a lot of grip, to be honest, so got to be careful there. Only commentary and stats on the stream, folks, and also just random yapping about maple syrup and ice cream, apparently. Drivers lose 19 seconds, 18 and a half seconds or so when they come in for a pit stop. They'll only lose 9 seconds if they come in during a safety car or a virtual safety car, so they're going to gain approximately 10 seconds if they do pit under a safety car. We have had a safety car here 83% of the time in the last 7 years, so that's pretty good going. Seems like we'll have some more action here this weekend as well. Just started watching F1. Can you explain what a 19-second pit stop loss is? Yeah, essentially, if you're in first position and the driver behind you in second place is 19 seconds behind you, and you come into the pit lane to change your tyres, then once you come out of the pit lane, you will come out alongside the driver who was 19 seconds behind you before, because that's how much time you lose while someone else is still going at full speed. While you're in the pit lane, you are obviously going at a slower speed. You've got to stop to change your tyres and such. So that's how much time it costs you to come into the pit lane. Albon's going to lead for sure because he's already at turn 1. It is. That's so true, so true. Albon's getting a head start for this race, Alright, so here we go then, 21 minutes, folks. If you haven't hit the like button, folks, be sure to do so. Would be much, much appreciated. And we are now still no rain. According to the FIA, their little system that says, is it raining, is it not raining? It says no. However, you have got all of the mechanics on the cars, wiping the cars down, moving all the raindrops away, and just cleaning out all of the surfaces up. So, it's a bit of a mixed situation, bit up in the air. Okay, how is this man not part of the official F1 commentary team on race day? I have no idea. Well, I've got to get on the phone, really. I've got to... no, I applied to the Sky Sports thing. I didn't get it. And then, to be honest, I think, to go into Formula 1 broadcasting in, like, the real sense, you've got to do a lot more stuff sort of low down, not just on YouTube. I think, you've got to do some go-karting and then some endurance racing and touring cars and Formula 3, and then you can sort of work your way up. It's not, like, oh, I've got a big YouTube channel and now they're going to immediately hire me. While that would be awesome, I think it's highly unlikely. You can just replace Juan Pablo Montoya. Yeah, I could. Not too many people happy with him. But, yeah, I mean, there's always some journalists on the right side of things and then some journalists on the wrong side of things. It's down to what your thoughts are on the matters and the situation of Formula 1 right now. Well, you got DNF predictions. I don't know. We'll go with, we are going to have a DNF from one of the Red Bull Powers cars, or one of the Red Bull Ford powered cars. Then we're going to have a DNF from a Ferrari powered car. And I think both Hondas are going to make it to the end of the race. Well, both Aston Martins are going to make it to the end of the race. Okay. Oh yeah, flying lap of the circuit. That's what it was. I forgot to do that. Yeah. Also, folks, if you do have any suggestions on anything that I should, add into the streams, the idea of having a flying lap was actually suggested to me by one of the viewers, and that's how we've got it onto the stream, and hence, if you guys have any good ideas and anything that we could add to the stream to make it better, to make it a better watching experience, then be sure to let me know. Okay, so we are going down in towards turn number 1. Oh yeah, this is the other thing. Oh, let me just rewind a few seconds. Alright, so as you're going down the main straight, you'll notice here that we have got the grid slots here. On the left-hand side of the grid, you have the drivers with the odd numbers. So they'll be on the left-hand side. They have the inside line going in towards turn number 1, the outside line for turn number 2. And because it rained earlier today, the track is totally green, so there is not an advantage to starting on the left-hand side. There's not a disadvantage to starting on the right-hand side. It is relatively level playing field right now. And yeah, so that's just one thing to note. Odd numbers start on the left-hand side, even numbers start on the right-hand side. And then in towards turn number 1, you hit that first apex. Then you wait ages and ages and ages for this car to steer to turn around, right? It takes very long corner, turn number 2. But it is quite a slow speed corner, so that's why it doesn't actually damage your tyres too much. You can see here I'm around 30% throttle or so as I'm going through this corner, and then as I straighten out the steering wheel, then slowly putting on the rest of the throttle, then onto the brakes here. This is the other thing. The track has been modified ever so slightly, so there used to be grass here on the left-hand side on the entry in towards turn number 3. That grass has been removed, and now it is just concrete instead. So the drivers use all of the circuit possible, and they go right up to the wall. You then make your way through turns number 3 and 4, again all the way to the wall on the right hand side. You have then got turn number 6 here, where you've got this concrete again on the entry, so you go slightly past the white line to the right side to maximise your sort of entry angle into the corner, over the curb. Oh, what have I done? Oh, give me a sec. And so let me rewind. Yeah, so on the exit turn number 7 again, right the way to the wall. Now you've got a speed zone here, so you drop your front wing, drop your rear wing, and accelerate down in towards turn number 8. You can't really send a lunge here like Kimi Antonelli did. It's not the optimal overtaking zone. You've again got another speed zone as you go down towards the hairpin, deep onto the brakes here. Shift your brake balance forwards to maximize your braking performance, and then you exit the hairpin with a big old straight and a good slipstreaming opportunity, to be honest. We've seen quite a few overtakes in towards the final chicane. You can again also set up an overtake in towards turn number 1 if you get a good enough slipstream. You're going down here, 8th gear, braking down in towards 4th gear, over the curbs. Try to avoid the wall of champions. While it is good news to wall into the drive into the wall of champions, you do want to sort of finish the race, and then you come across the line. So that's a lap of Montreal, folks. All right. How long is the Canadian Grand Prix? Canadian Grand Prix probably take like an hour and a half, a little bit longer than that. Yeah. Poutine, a great Canadian thing. Sorry. Okay, I will give it a try. I'll ask one of my Canadian friends, see what their opinion is on it. I suggest we create an F1 Fantasy League. Yeah, I did make one back in 2025, but never really followed through on it. So maybe that's an idea to do. And what was the other thing? What's the weather today? Well, it was raining moments ago, but it stopped raining again, so it's a bit difficult to say what's going to happen in terms of the forecast. VPN plug, yeah, folks. If you are interested in watching the Formula One coverage for the low price of $1 a month, you get Proton VPN. You join an Austrian VPN server, and you go onto Service TV. You make an account, you log in, and you can watch the Formula One coverage for free. The commentary is in German, so of course, if you are from Germany, it's absolutely perfect for you. If you're not from Germany, you just mute the coverage. You listen to me yap about Formula One instead. Either way, you get to see the cars go around the circuit, and you also have a broadcast. Okay. Are they going to start on slicks? It's going to be pretty oversteery. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say really. With one camera angle, it looks like it's raining or as heavy as it has been. On another camera angle, it looks like it's not raining whatsoever. Rain will be back in 15 minutes. I'm calling it. So place your bets. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Race will be starting in 14 minutes time though. The how not to pay for Sky might be the reason why we never see you at the desk. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not too concerned really. I've got a job lined up, hopefully. Well, I have got it lined up, and yeah, I'm not too fussed as long really about not working for Sky Sports. I am from Germany, and still it's the best to combine F1 gamers commentary with the TV images. Oh, well, much appreciated there. Yeah, thank you. Okay, track temperature continuing to fall down into 16 degrees Celsius, 16.8 degrees Celsius. Also, the risk of rain, according to Race Control, is 50%. They've just sent the message through Race Control now, 50% chance of rain, which is good to see, will the drivers start on slick tyres? Will they start on intermediates? It is tough to say. I was looking at Ventus Sky, which is, I think one of the best sort of weather radars that you've got, and oh, the data's just gone blank. It'll be back in about 25 seconds, folks, so don't worry about that. But what was I saying? Yeah, Ventus Sky's weather radar was showing, oh, no rain's arriving in the next couple of minutes, and next couple of hours, and even if it does, it's going to be half a millimeter of rain to a quarter of a millimeter of rain, so minor that you're not even going to notice. So I guess we'll see. Going to be a gamble on the tyres. It indeed will be a gamble. Right. Yeah, is there anything else that I have forgot to cover? Not really, though. We've got Russell, I think, returning to form, right? This is one of Russell's best tracks, and past 3 races, Antonelli has been beating him, and I'm sure Russell's not too pleased about that one, and, he sort of wants to win this championship, right? So, is this the opportunity where Russell can bounce back from his bad form? Will he be able to stay ahead of Antonelli going in towards turn number 1? It seems rather likely, right? Antonelli hasn't had the best of race starts. Russell will have the inside line going in towards turn number 1, so that should seal the deal for him. Now again, will we see the two Mercedes drive off into the distance? So what we saw in the first 6 laps of the sprint race is that the Mercedes had nearly pulled a 3-second gap to the McLarens behind them, which meant that, you know, they were pulling about 0.6 per lap into... Yeah, they were pulling nearly 0.6 a lap, right, on the McLarens. So is the same going to happen again? If Lando Norris splits the two Mercedes, will they stay close to each other? Will they... Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Just finished a trip down memory lane, F1 2012 on the PC season stacked with world champions. Yeah, I mean, in 2012 you had so many world champions on the grid. And, well, right now you've got Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, and Lando Norris. So 4 world champions, and potentially, you know, we've got a future world champion, potentially George Russell, potentially Kimi Antonelli. F1 Gamer, can you compare the colour of the tarmac to half an hour ago drive for an estimate of the current track condition? Well, unfortunately on the broadcast they aren't showing too much of the tarmac itself, so it's a bit difficult to make that judgment. But look, we can see more raindrops on the cameras, and they would have been wiped away if that were not the case, right? So if it had stopped raining. So it seems like the rain is here to stay, at least in a very, very minor sense. It might not even be that strong to the point where we even get intermediate tyres, but it will still be there. It will be off-putting for the drivers to go off the racing line. Oh, this is the other thing to note, folks. So when it is raining, you have a dry racing line and you have a wet racing line. And the dry racing line, of course, is going to be faster. And especially when you're on slicks, what you want to do is stay on the dry racing line. And if someone is trying to overtake you, you have to allow them to go to the wet racing line, which often means the inside line, right? It's very much the opposite of how you race in the dry. In the dry, you're like, right, I'm going to take the inside line, I'm going to defend from the inside to stop this person from overtaking me. But you actually do the opposite in wet conditions, where you stay on the outside line, you stay on the dry bit of the circuit, you have to force someone else onto the wet bit, and, you know, they risk then locking up, they risk missing their braking point, and so many other things. And that's the way to defend. Now we'll see if George Russell does that. We'll see if how the other drivers attempt it, because we have seen in the past a few drivers get caught out. They sort of just slip back into the, you know, oh, I need to take the inside line to defend here, and then they end up on the wet part of the circuit and miss their braking point. Okay, I might be overestimating Stroll here, but hear me out. It's raining. We should never underestimate him. Yeah, I mean, Stroll, you know, who has got pole position in in Turkey when it was raining? Lance Stroll does. So, you know, don't count the guy out. Don't count the guy out. Especially if there's chaos up ahead, right? Like, there's always progress to be made when there's chaos. Oh, the track is a lot wetter. Someone asked just a few moments ago, what is the, you know, has the tarmac got a lot, has it changed colour a lot? And it has. So good news, folks, good news. Wasn't that with a pink Mercedes? It was, but regardless, you know, pink Mercedes didn't win the championship that year, did they? So it's still a good lap. What tyres? The tyre information will come through soon enough. It'll be interesting to see. Typically, it comes through with about 4 minutes left till the start of the formation lap or so, and we're now just getting the radio checks coming through here from the drivers, from Carlos Sainz, from George Russell. All right. Starting on Inters, maybe it's yeah, I don't know. We do see more raindrops, right, on the cameras and stuff. So Hamilton shaking his head. Why are you shaking your head, man? It's raining. Surely you're pretty good in these wet conditions. You can school the youngsters. If if Lewis has still got his skills in wet conditions, then I'm sure he'll be able to beat Piastri and Norris and maybe even Antonelli, right? It's all a bit up in the air. But it's, you know, that's the thing. Rain is the great equalizer, and you know, this is when a bad car can be overshadowed by a good driver. So, you know, we could find Fernando Alonso potentially up in the top 10. Bit of a overestimate, I think, as of this very moment. But if we get chaos and carnage on lap number 1, we get 4 people DNF, then who knows what happens. Who starts in the pits? Only Albon? No, Albon is starting on the circuit. It's just Lance Stroll in the pit lane now. And yeah, he'll be starting from the pits. Red flag at the Indy 500 with 8 laps to go, is it? Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. Looks like everyone's changing to winters. It does seem like, you know, they're bringing some more tires out and such, I think, on their little trolleys from the garage towards the cars. So let's see, is anyone going to take a gamble, right? Because you do lose, and just as it says at the top of the screen there, you lose 19 seconds for coming into the circuit, coming into the pits to switch tires. So, you know, let's say it stops raining in 10 minutes time, and you've got to deal with the first 5 laps, 10 laps or so where it's slightly damp, and then you can continue on your way without a pit stop. Is that going to work for you if you start on slick tires? Will you gain that time back if you go onto intermediates? I think turn 1, 2, 3 will be chaos. Yeah, I think the drivers are, well, I think we're going to have at least one person misjudge their braking point, and we're going to have a little bit of contact here and there. All right, possibility of rain looking pretty high now, folks. Looking pretty high. Yeah. Well, given the fact that it is raining as of right now, I'd say, yeah, 100%. It just doesn't know. We just don't know how heavy it is, right? Is it heavy enough to warrant slick tires? Is it heavy enough to warrant intermediate tires? Why are the cars on the track 5 minutes before the start? They're on the track because they are on the grid. They're going to do the formation lap, and then once they've done the formation lap, they'll start from the grid. So it's typically how it goes. We're just getting a few messages over here where the drivers are getting told, you know, oh, we need to do a certain amount of burnouts to ensure that we got a rear tyre temperature and stuff like that on their formation lap. Wind still as strong as ever, 12 kilometers per hour, 15 kilometers per hour from the southerly direction. So that will give the drivers a little bit more downforce in towards turn number 1, right? Extra 15 kilometers per hour wind blowing in as a headwind in towards turn 1, which means that yeah, the driver's gonna have a bit more grip in towards there, less chance of locking up. But we'll wait and see. I think that the tire temperature is gonna have a much bigger factor. Ooh, we've got a mix here, folks, because we've got some inters for both McLarens. We've got Antonelli on soft, which I suspect means Russell's also going to be on soft tyres. We've got a few medium tyres here, a few soft tyres. Okay. Brilliant. Hulkenberg and Bortoletto on inters. We've got Sainz on inters. Albon is on soft. We've got both Cadillacs on inters. And George Russell, still as of right now, we do not know what tyre he's on. Okie dokes, folks. This is going to be a good race. You know, it's changeable conditions, very similar to Canada 2011, and that was one special race, I've got to say. So if you are enjoying the stream so far, be sure to hit the like button. Very much would be appreciated. And we have just got the tyre confirmation come through for George Russell. It is going to be a used set of soft tyres for George Russell. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Overtake mode has been disabled because of the rain. Well, it's been disabled because it's the start of the race. We'll see if they re-enable it or not. But let's go from the bottom of the grid, right? We've got Lance Stroll starting in the pit lane there on a set of soft tyres. We've got 2 Cadillacs at the back of the grid. They're on intermediates. Alonso on the softs. Then we've got Albon, Ocon, Behrman all on soft tyres. Then Sainz on inters. Gasly on mediums. Bortoletto on inters. Lawson on mediums. Hulkenberg in 11th position there, starting on inters. Colapinto and Lindblad in 10th and 9th respectively. They're both starting on medium tyres. Then we've got Hamilton in 5th, Verstappen in 6th, Hadjar 7th, Leclerc 8th, all of them starting on used soft tyres. We've got the 2 McLarens on fresh sets of inters, and then we've got Russell and Antonelli on fresh sets of softs. Yes, folks, is it raining? I mean, come on, if there's intermediate tyres on the track right now, it's got to be raining. All right. Slow mode. Oh yeah, let me pop slow mode on. Okie dokes, and yeah, the formation lap is going to get underway in 1 minute 12 seconds. Let me move my webcam up to the top so you guys can read the team radios. All right, let's get rid of. Oh no, we'll keep the countdown timer for now. Will half the grid pit on lap 1? The other thing is the drivers can pit under the formation lap, right? So on the formation lap, they can choose to go straight on into the pit lane, and that could save them a little bit of lap time and a little bit of time overall in the race, because the rest of the drivers, right? So you've got to imagine you're coming through the pit lane and you're going to go to your pit box, get your tyres changed, then wait at the end of the queue, whereas the rest of the drivers are going to be on the rest of the drivers are going to be waiting on the start-finish line or on the grid for a little bit. They're going to rev their engines up and do all of the start procedure stuff. So that does actually give you the opportunity to not lose your full 19 seconds. You're only going to lose a little bit less than that. So yeah, that is again another option that the drivers can pit at the end of the formation lap, but only time will tell. Let's wait and see what happens. We've got the drivers all lined up on the grid. All of the engineers have moved over to the right-hand side and the left-hand side of the circuit, and we're going to be getting underway for some motor racing very, very shortly, folks. Okay. So here we go. The clock strikes 4 p.m. here in Montreal, and we have got George Russell and Kimi Antonelli leading the way off the start-finish line in towards the starting grid. There you go. You got the kilometers per hour just going up there for the two Mercs. All right. 15,000 people watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Folks, if you are enjoying the coverage, smash the like button. I know it's the cringe YouTuber thing to say, but it would be very, very much appreciated. And my race predictions, I'm going to predict total and utter chaos. That is my forecast for the race. 100% chance of chaos, 50% chance of rain, and we've got a weekend attendance of 360,000 people here in Montreal. And honestly, the fans are out there. They've got their raincoats, their rain jackets, and it's going to be a mega race here. All right, let's keep an eye out on what the drivers on intermediate tyres are saying. Are they warming up their tyres too much? Are they overheating already? We've got Norris and Piastri. They are at the front. No team radio messages from them just as of yet. Plan C for chaos. Yeah, plan C for chaos, plan C for carnage. We are so back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have an absolute cinema moment here. Okay. Oh, what's Piastri saying? I'm floating around quite a bit on these tyres. Okay, so Piastri saying I'm floating around quite a bit. What does that mean? You know, I've got a lack of grip. I presume that's what he means, because if he was stuck to the ground, he wouldn't be floating. So Piastri feeling a bit of a lack of grip there on the intermediate tyres. But the track does look reasonably wet, right? The TV shot of him driving down the pitch straight and everything is yeah, quite concerning. Turn 1 or turn 3 for first lap chaos. Oh, turn one for sure. Someone is going to mess up their braking point. I think that is almost a given. All right, we've got the drivers there lined up at the front. We've got the two Mercs lined up, and look at this, right? So we're gonna and the rest of the drivers, you can see Bottas there is just exiting the hairpin, so they're gonna have to wait so long. Russell and Antonelli, they're on the soft tyres. They need to maintain as much tyre temperature as possible, but Bottas is way back there, and they've got to wait for him. So meanwhile, every second Bottas is wasting, or not even wasting, he's doing his procedure, right? The McLaren's tyres, the Mercedes' tyres, they're all getting colder and colder and colder. Antonelli, folks, has lined up his Mercedes pointed to the left-hand side of the grid. He is pointing it ready to cut off George Russell as soon as he possibly can if he gets a good start. We'll see if he does get a good start. It's going to be a bit of a tough one for him with these wet and damp conditions. Their clutch settings are going to have to be absolutely perfect. We have got the green light waving at the green flag waving at the back of the grid. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and it's taken an awful long time. Oh, jump start from Antonelli, and wait, what's going on? They've aborted extra formation lap. Guys, what extra formation lap? Kimi Antonelli just jumped the start, and then they've said extra formation lap, and one of the Racing Bulls has stalled. Arvid Lindblad has said it's not going in gear, and he's stuck on the grid. We've got an extra formation lap going on. Mental. What? Aborted start there. I mean, it was a bit of a late call. You had all 5 lights on the grid, and then you say aborted start. What's going on? Interesting. The mechanics, well, the engineers are going to be on the radio now to Lindblad saying, change this setting, change that setting. You need to get the car into gear somehow. But I mean, why do an aborted start? Why, what's the reason for that one? Yeah. Okay, so they're pushing. Are they pushing Lindblad's car back into the pits? They've got people there on the start finish line now. They're pushing Lindblad's car back into the pits by the looks of it, unless they're trying to jumpstart it. What's he saying over the radio? They're pushing me, what should I do? So Lindblad doesn't know what he's doing. We've got a yellow flag there just at turn number 1. What's Piastri saying over the radio? Yeah, I mean, okay, they're pushing Lindblad off the grid. That's what's coming through over the team radio messages, and then we will continue on. It's a car failure by the sounds of it, right? I think what has happened is that Lindblad must have had an issue, and they told the FIA in that very moment, basically don't start the race, otherwise everyone's going to crash into the back of Lindblad. And I suspect that is the reason, right? I'm not certain, because you do have to understand, right, these cars were lined up on the grid for quite a while. Lindblad there in 9th position, he was there on the start finish line, and at some point he has to shift the car from neutral into first gear, and if that didn't work, then he would have immediately been over the radio saying, I can't get into gear, I can't start the race, and hence then, for that reason, they must have aborted the start. I think that will be the reasoning. Now, of course, we don't know. The FIA don't release statements midway through the race. They'll put out a document at the end of it, but that is my speculation as of right now. Anyway, that doesn't matter. George Russell has been told to select Strat 7. That is attack mode, ladies and gentlemen. He is lined up there on the start of the grid. Arvid Lindblad has been pushed off the back of the grid. They're going to have to wait a little bit till he gets pushed into the pit lane. But we have got the last Cadillac approaching the grid now in the form of Valtteri Bottas, lining himself up on the left-hand side of the grid there. We've got all of the lights flashing, and I think we're going to have... they're going to wait for Lindblad to get round the corner into the pit lane, and then we should go racing. That might mean we have only 69 laps of racing rather than 70, but either way... And now this time Russell has got his car pointed over to now chop across Antonelli. And extra formation lap, ladies and gentlemen. All right, another one. Well, here we go, folks. Extra formation lap again. Great bunch of fun. Cheers, FIA. But no, I mean, it is down to the safety things, right? Lindblad, if his car isn't moved out the way and someone has a brake failure going in towards turn 13, you're going to have a pretty nasty crash. So I get it why they're doing it. But yeah, another one. Because, yeah, Arvid Lindblad is right now in the pit lane entry. So if someone has a brake failure going in towards turn 13 or has contact or whatever it is, they go straight into where Arvid Lindblad is at this very moment in time. So yeah, it is totally understandable that they will add another formation lap. Breaking news, Stroll's not in last position. Yeah, I guess Lindblad's retired from the race already. How's the rain forecast? I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if the McLaren team are too happy with this, because the rain hasn't really started pouring down in any sort of significant fashion, and they're there on the intermediate tyres. So, yeah, I'm not sure really how that's going to work out for them. It doesn't seem like it's raining particularly hard, but it's tough to say. What are they saying over the radio? They're saying, Lando Norris says, is it just drifting? Okay. While Hulkenberg and Bortoletti saying they're also on intermediate tyres, so that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I can't keep my eyes peeled. It goes by way too quickly. There we go, folks. It's been reduced down to 68 laps. We're going to have 68 laps of racing there. As you can see, it was 70 earlier on. It's now 68. And now, for the third time here in Montreal, we have now got the drivers lining up on the start-finish line. And, oh well, on their grid positions. 3 burnouts there for Oscar Piastri, so that's pretty standard procedure really, 3 burnouts to build tyre temperature, nothing out of the ordinary. We've got 2 burnouts, 3 burnouts for, the Alpine cars. Okay, so, once again, we've got the drivers lining up on the start-finish line. And this time we will actually get a race start. Lindblad is safely tucked away at the side of, well, into the garage now, so it is totally safe to go racing. And we have then got Colapinto, Hulkenberg, and they're all approaching the grid slots now. Lance Stroll finds himself back in the pit lane, and he'll be starting from the end of the pit lane. Okay, so there you go. We've got Valtteri Bottas, the last car, approaching the grid. He has done his final burnout. He has hit the brakes, shifted the car into neutral, and now here they go into first, building up the revs, and we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. It is lights out and away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix, and it is a terrible start for the Mercedes. We've got Lando Norris going down the inside in towards turn number 1. Great start there by Lando Norris, and he takes the lead of this race. What a start from Lando Norris. Then we have got Lindblad, of course, dropping back there. Hamilton gets ahead of Piastri, and, well, there you go. Lando Norris on the intermediate tyres is currently leading this race in damp conditions. How much longer will that advantage last for? Oh, bit of chaos there at the back. A bit of a lock-up from one of the Alpines, but they managed to make their way through A-OK. All right, big mix of tyres up at the front. We'll see if overtake mode gets enabled. Right now, the FIA race control is saying no rain as of this moment, which then means that overtake mode should get enabled as soon as Norris comes across the start-finish line. Kimi Antonelli has been told take no risks with Norris. I don't think they see him as much of a threat, and the reason for that is Norris has still got he's going to have to pit at some point sooner or later. These intermediate tyres, unless the rain comes in a really big way, which I don't think it is, he's got 19 seconds to lose as soon as he dives into the pits. We've got one of the Red Bulls trying to overtake Oscar Piastri. That is Max Verstappen in towards the final chicane. Job done there for Max, and in fact, Oscar Piastri, I think, just dives into the pit lane, if I saw that correctly. Yes, that is. Piastri into the pits. He's getting off the intermediate tyres ASAP. Lando Norris will be doing the same, and that is why Antonelli has been told not to worry about him. Knew it, McLaren overcorrected after Miami. And, we're nearly 3 wide going in towards turn number 3 here in the midfield. We've got Fernando Alonso up in P14, 5 positions gained, and it's now 7 positions gained. Fernando Alonso, take a bow. Oh my goodness me. When the rain comes out and everyone's a little bit clueless about what to do, Fernando Alonso strikes P12 for the Spaniard. Okay. And Lando Norris coming into the pit soon enough. I mean, Kimi Antonelli's going to overtake him soon enough if he doesn't come into the pit lane. Antonelli's got way more grip, and he's got to be careful here because George Russell is right on his tail, and Russell does not like to lose. He, in fact, has lost the last 3 races, and he has come out of all 3 of them looking all rather annoyed. Lando Norris has been told to box, so he's going to dive into the pits. Antonelli's going to take the lead of this race, and George Russell settles into second position with Hamilton in P3 here on the podium. It's a Mercedes 1-2-3, as Toto Wolff would put it, with Lewis Hamilton on the tail of the 2 Mercs, and it looks like we've got a dive to the inside. That is George Russell sending one to the inside of Kimi Antonelli. He says thank you very much. Antonelli gets caught napping. He has a bad exit out of turn number 14, and George Russell, I think... oh no. That was the wrong way around, folks. I got confused between the 2 Mercedes. Antonelli's still in the lead of this race. Yeah, my bad, folks, my bad. Their helmet colours are just too similar. I didn't realise who was who. Max Verstappen, fastest lap of the race. He's 4/10 back from Lewis Hamilton, and the top 5 within 2.5 seconds of each other. Yeah, totally my apologies there, folks. I got confused between which colour helmet Russell had and which colour helmet Antonelli had, and yeah. So that's sort of self-explanatory there. Okay, Kimi still leads this race, and we've got Russell in second position. Absolute idiots from McLaren. Yeah, not the smartest choice. Everyone that started on the intermediate tyres has come into the pits, with the exception of Valtteri Bottas, who's still sticking it out there on the intermediate tyres. But yeah, he gets overtaken by Piastri pretty quick, and I don't think the rain is arriving. Fernando Alonso, P10, ladies and gentlemen. Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin Honda is in the points. Incredible there from Alonso, and great to see him performing. We'll see how long it lasts, of course. I would love for it to last right till the end of the race, but it's always a tough one in that Aston Martin when you've got so many faster cars behind you. Is it going to be 4 in a row for Kimi Antonelli? Well, let's wait and see, right? We're on lap number 4. We've still got 65 laps remaining of this race, and a whole lot of chaos up ahead of us. Okay, and Antonelli doing his absolute best to build out that gap. Bottas comes into the pits. Yeah, it was confirmed to be a bad decision there to go out on the intermediate tyres, and McLaren have heavily paid the price. They're out right now on mediums, but they're going to have to do another pit stop to make it to the end of the race. So that's going to be 2 pit stops for them and only 1 pit stop for the rest of the field. Okay, Antonelli is not giving this one up easily. Purple first sector, purple second sector. Here he is coming across the final chicane. Now, what's it going to be? Comes across the line, and fastest lap of the race for George Russell, which lasted for a split second before Verstappen took it away. And the top 4 are driving off into the distance by the looks of it. Charles Leclerc unable to manage the same pace. Yeah, McLaren picked intermediate tyres on a bit of a drying circuit, right? Look, the weather forecast is very unpredictable. You know, just 1 hour ago, Google's forecast was saying 10% chance of rain. BBC News was saying 78% chance of rain. Accurate Weather was saying 66% chance of rain. So it was all a little bit difficult to predict. And clearly McLaren were on the wrong side of that gamble. McLaren can go on to softs when all of the others are on old hards. Yeah, that is potential. There is also a potential that the drivers currently out on soft tyres, they might be able to extend their stint and go out onto mediums. It all depends on how the tyre wear is looking. Especially when the track temp's down at 17 degrees Celsius, tyre wear will probably not be too much of an issue. All right, very unfortunate that Arvid Lindblad retired. Honestly, he was doing so well every single session in the Canadian Grand Prix race weekend. He's been in 10th position or higher, and we get to the race and his car doesn't shift into gear. Gearbox is not working too nicely, and it seemed like, it was Lawson had a gearbox or a hydraulic issue in FP1 as well, and he was saying something about not being able to get into gear. So, yeah, recurring issue there for the Racing Bulls team, which they'll have to diagnose. Alright, up at the front, half a second is the gap between Antonelli and Russell, and this is going to get very, very tasty very, very quickly, I think. Hadjar, second fastest in the first sector, and he's looking to catch up to Charles Leclerc as he has now been dropped off the back of Max Verstappen. He's starting to lose that toe a little bit, and Hadjar is fastly approaching. Overtake mode is on, ladies and gentlemen, so the drivers do have the opportunity to use the overtake button. There is no sort of restriction on that in this very moment. Okay. So, Gasly getting pretty close to overtaking Fernando Alonso here. Let's see what can Fernando Alonso do as they go in towards the hairpin. Alonso defends successfully into there, but how much longer will it last? George Russell sends it to the inside at turn number 14, and Antonelli is left picking up the scraps. He's barely ahead of Lewis Hamilton, in fact, and George Russell has got the job done in towards turn 14. Huge per final sector. I mean, that final sector, incredible overspeed compared to Antonelli, and simply just too easy for him. Same thing there for Gasly. Gasly gets the overtake done on Fernando Alonso, and Alonso dips out of the points. We've got Albon overtaking Ocon, and we've got Sainz overtaking Hülkenberg. Both Williams gain 1 position in towards the final chicane. And Antonelli, yeah, just a big lockup from Antonelli. He was off the racing line, folks. Look, I said this, before the race started, 5 minutes before the race started, I was like, when it's wet or slightly damp, you want your rival to go off the racing line and you stay on the racing line. And Antonelli did the exact opposite. He went off the racing line to try and defend where it was wet, where it was damp. He locked up, went straight on. And, this is the thing, right? He's a rookie. He's bound to make these mistakes. But, that one was pretty obvious. Okay, and now Kimi coming under pressure from Lewis Hamilton behind. The McLarens are making some pretty slick progress up the field right now. We've got Norris in 13th, Piastri in 14th, and we'll see if Norris can pull off an overtake on Albon, his fellow 2019 rookie. And yeah, they make their way down towards turn number 14. Fernando Alonso falling back quickly now, and he's now under pressure from Albon. Yeah, Max Verstappen in the third sector, looking good there from Max Verstappen. Kimi is no longer a rookie. Alonso's the only rookie. Well, okay, yeah. Kimi's still a fresh driver to Formula 1, right? Fresh to competing in a world championship, leading at the front so consistently, so for many, many occasions again and again. So, you cut the guy some slack, but also he's a very quick racing driver. You've got to admit that. But there's still, there's signs that there is experience lacking. Whereas I think when you look to other drivers, potentially in their third season of Formula 1, and I think, for example, you would see Piastri in his third season, much more of a sort of a mature driver. Of course, Anthony's only in his second season right now. But on the flip side, right, Max Verstappen in his second season of Formula 1 wasn't the most mature driver in the world, and he still turned out to be extremely quick. So, a bit of a learning curve, as there is with all things really. Kimi Antonelli, fastest lap of the race. Albon gets ahead of Alonso. Verstappen gets ahead of Hamilton. Oh my God. As they go in towards turn number 1 and 2, Verstappen seals the deal, and Hamilton, in fact, while he was looking ahead to try and overtake Antonelli, Antonelli sets the fastest lap, and Hamilton left looking in his mirrors. Now we've got Charles Leclerc potentially closing up on him. Oh, Hülkenberg's been noted for speeding in the pit lane. That will probably be a 5-second time penalty there. We've got Oscar Piastri overtaking Fernando Alonso. And yes, Alonso, while he had a fantastic race start, has dropped down from 10th position down into 14th, unfortunately for him. Okay, folks, also, if you are enjoying the coverage, be sure to hit the like button. Would be much, much appreciated. Hopefully we can make our way towards 5,000 likes. That'll be fantastic. All right. Yeah, Gasly now trying to get ahead of Behrman. We'll see how that one plays out for him. Ocon / Alonso battle coming up soon. Yeah, that's always a good one between those two drivers. We'll see how that one plays out. Yeah, Hülkenberg. I mean, look, Hülkenberg was out on intermediate tyres, right? So there's a very good chance that he locked up his tyres while coming into the pit lane, and for that reason, he exceeded the pit lane speed limit. So, yeah, not much that you can really do there. Right. Purple first sector there for Antonelli. Very nicely done. How is Merck 1 second faster on pace alone? Because their car is a rocket ship. Yeah, that's the only way to put it. And Antonelli now purple in the middle sector, trying to stay within that 1 second margin of George Russell so he can get overtake, right? A little bit more recharge, a little bit more deployment in his favour. Bottas is already lapped. Oh my God. We're on lap number 10, ladies and gentlemen. Lap number 10, Bottas has already been lapped. I mean, look, admittedly, it was a pit stop. He had to pit for tyres, and now he's again coming to the pit lane. It looks like he's got some sort of issue there, but yeah, they've just told him to box, so I think that might be game over there for Valtteri Bottas. We'll see. All right, Antonelli now fastest lap of the race, trading fastest laps with himself and George Russell. Should have eaten his porridge. Yeah, Valtteri Bottas. Oh no, he's coming back out actually. You can drive straight out, just emerge at the front, in front of Colapinto. Okay, well there you go. He's continuing on, but he's now been lapped by more than 6 drivers on the field. Can Max win? Well, look at the previous laps, folks. 15.7 from Russell, 15.7 from Antonelli. Max Verstappen a 16.4. So looks a bit unlikely, doesn't it? Did Max get upgraded from the sprint? I mean, he had a different setup, right? He was complaining about the setup in the sprint. He was also complaining about it in qualifying, though. So, maybe it's an improvement, but still not perfect. Okay. I mean, honestly, I'm very thankful for the fact that we don't have any papaya rules at Mercedes. We just have, out and out racing. Look at this. The drivers trading fastest laps again. Now we've got George Russell with the fastest lap of the race. Both of the drivers are pushing as hard as they can. And they're losing about a tenth or so per lap in terms of lap time on those soft tyres. They wear out really, really quickly. So you lose approximately a tenth or so every single lap you push on them. And, they've got to be careful. Soon enough, they're going to have to dive into the pit lane at the rate that they're pushing. Will we see Kimi try to undercut George Russell? I mean, maybe, right? If he makes the call, I don't think the team will directly make the call. I'm not sure exactly how the inter-team dynamics will work at Mercedes, but I know for a fact if Kimi has the foresight to say, I want to come into the pits and try to undercut George, they will totally allow it, right? They're not going to say, oh no, don't come into the pit lane. So yeah, or Kimi can basically just say, mate, I'm coming into the pits, get ready to change my tyres. And in fact, Antonelli sends one to the inside at the hairpin. Job done. Russell is now going to try and re-overtake him as they go in towards the turn 14 corner. Russell has got the job done and re-overtakes him. So it's getting very, very feisty there. Yeah, into between the two Mercedes, and Antonelli tries again for the inside. Russell leaves the space, and Antonelli tries around the outside at turn 2, but that is practically impossible, and they are nose to tail, and oh my goodness me, the Silver Arrows war is back on, folks. It is back, and if they carry on back... Oh, yellow flag, what's this? Albon at turn 11, yellow flag deployed. Come into the pit lane maybe, folks, because there might be a safety car. Albon has stopped at turn number 11. That is a potential issue. Double yellow flag now for Alex Albon. The Mercedes are battling away anyway, and they'll be approaching that rather soon. Single yellow flag, and now they might declare it as clear. Let's wait and see. Albon, though, has stopped at the circuit. There are no overtakes happening at the chicane now because Alex Albon's there. They're also not going to drive too quickly because they could get a penalty. We've got Piastri in the pits. Why is Piastri in the pits? I guess they thought there might have been a safety car or something, but they're changing a front wing by the looks of it. A very, very long pit stop there for Oscar Piastri, and the race has gone from bad to even worse. A 14.5 second pit stop there for Oscar Piastri. Game over. Not ideal. Unless a safety car comes out, it's not looking good for the Aussie. Okay, still the yellow flag though. I don't know what they're doing exactly about that, but Albon has stopped. It seems like they've moved him off the edge of the circuit, and they should clear up the yellow flag rather quickly, and we'll see. Up at the front, Russell 7/10 ahead of Antonelli. McLaren's strategy needs to be studied. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Okay, they've still got the yellow flag. I mean, surely clear it up or deploy the safety car. Like, got to pick. All right, Charles Leclerc gets ahead of Isaac Hadjar, actually. Ooh, very nice. And Perez gets ahead of Stroll as well. Oh, there's contact between... I think Piastri had to come into the pits because there was contact between him and Albon. I didn't see the replay properly because they only showed it in the little corner, but I think there must have been contact between Albon and Piastri, and that's why Piastri was in the pits and Albon stopped. If someone could confirm that'd be great. Oscar and Albon made contact, and Oscar's front wing was broken. Okay, there you go. All right, thanks for confirming, folks. Yeah. Could Hamilton get a podium? I mean, most certainly, right? He's just got to overtake Verstappen. The gap's sitting about 0.8 of a second. Who knows? Okay. Why did Charles fall off the pace? Damage? Uncertain, really. I don't think he's had any damage. I don't think he had any contact at the start of the race. So it's tough to say. I mean, he overtook Hadjar, but yeah, he's still quite a way off Lewis Hamilton. Thanks for the donation there, mate. Okay. Yeah, Piastri got lapped. I mean, he's come into the pits twice, so you gotta cut him some slack there, right? Indy 500 ended in a photo finish, did it? Oh, that is. I would have loved to watch that. I will. I'll check out the replay later. All right, we have got Russell in the lead here, with Antonelli a few seconds back. Well, not even a few seconds back, a few tenths back. All right. Yeah, things going all right there for the Mercs. Hamilton applying more pressure now to Max Verstappen. They've both got relatively old tyres, right? They're coming towards their pit stop window soon enough. These medium tyres are going to have to go, and the drivers are going to have to come into the pit lane. We've got Lando Norris, who's dived into the pits after 12 laps on medium tyres. I don't know why he's come into the pit lane. The medium tyres can do upwards of 27 laps, 30 laps or so. So I think what he's going to do is put on a set of hards. Okay, no, he's not. He's going to put on another set of mediums. Okay. McLaren's strategy really does need to be studied. Like, what are they doing? Unless there was some sort of issue. I mean, I didn't see anything over the radio, but yeah, absolute confusion. What's going on? Is it reliability issues? Okay. So yeah, they must have had to do something with the car, restart it, or change the steering wheel, or something like that. I'm not sure. Because right now it's the pit window of the soft tyres. The soft tyres, the drivers should be coming into the pits, not the mediums. Reliability, okay. Yeah, well, it's the race has just gone from bad to worse. Both McLaren drivers have pitted twice. Meanwhile, their rivals as Mercedes and Ferrari and Red Bull have yet to pit. We've got fast lap of the race there from Antonelli. They're 1 minute 15s now from him. And we've got Russell. And in fact, he just gets ahead of Russell again. A dive bomb in towards the final chicane. But it just doesn't last there from Antonelli, right? You can make the overtake, but Russell's just going to say, thank you very much, I'm going to re-overtake you. You can deploy as much battery as you want. And as you go in towards turn number 14, it's very close. And you might just be able to hang on. Does Antonelli hang on? I think he does. Actually, no, he doesn't. No, Russell's got the lead. So yeah, it's not the best opportunity. You got to set up the overtake a little bit later on. He is trying into the hairpin. He's catching George Russell out, and he's got dangerously close to pulling off the overtake. But yeah, he's tried that now 2 times, and it's not worked so far. Tom Tarbon, thanks for the $5 donation. Shout out to the mods for keeping the spammers at bay. Yeah, much appreciated for the donation. Obviously, much appreciated to the mods as well. Mods, unsung heroes of the channel. Probably the best way of putting it. They're going to take each other out. It looks like that. They are getting so close to each other. And here they go again, in towards the chicane. We've got the top speed mode there for Antonelli. Is he going to try another move in towards the hairpin? No, not on this occasion. He is he's running a little bit wide, suffering from a little bit of understeer. George Russell, the rear of his car squirreling around a little bit under traction. But yeah, that's Antonelli is now, you can see their speeds down the straight. You can see Russell doing 3:15, Antonelli doing 3:30. He's gaining huge amounts of time down the straight. And let's see, as they go in towards turn number 1, is Antonelli going to be close enough? No, he's not. Lando Norris gets ahead of Fernando Alonso. It's P13 there for Norris, making some more progress up the field. If Antonelli wins the championship in Abu Dhabi, will he be the youngest champion? I think he might be. No, I'm not certain when his birthday is, but the youngest world champion right now is Seb Vettel, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because I think Max won when he was a little bit older, right? Oh, yellow flag, what's this? Bottas, no, manages to keep going. It seems like it was just a spin there, momentary spin. Oh, Seb won at 23, never mind, okay. But is Seb still the... Okay, so he will be... Okay, so he'll be youngest by a big margin then, okay. But that's a big if, right? We're only at round number 5, folks. Like, if we go back to last season, Piastri, by the looks of it, had it in the bag at the start of the season, and we know how that turned out, right? So let's see what Antonelli can do as he goes in towards turn number 1. And, yeah, still a bit of recharging of the battery. I think he's waiting to fight for another day. Will Kimi undercut Russell? I mean, I think he'll try, but Russell will also be aware of the fact that Kimi's going to try and do this. And as soon as he feels his tyres going off, he'll say, oh, time to come into the pits. I'll try and get that advantage. Okay. Thanks everyone for tuning in, by the way. Hope you're all enjoying the coverage. Is much fun commentating to you guys. And if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. Hopefully we can make our way towards 5,000 likes. I mean, we've got 26,000 people listening in. So, yeah, that'd be much appreciated. I'll quickly just read out the top 5 for us right now. So we've got Russell first, Antonelli second, Verstappen third, who's about 6 seconds back behind Antonelli. Then Hamilton, who's only half a second back from Verstappen. And then Leclerc in 5th position, Hadjar in 6th, Colapinto 7th, Lawson 8th, Gasly 9th, and Behrman in 10th. That is our current top 10 as of this very moment. Okay. Yeah, we got a few yellow flag infringements that are getting noted between Behrman and Alonso, right? They maybe they're speeding a little bit too much while there was a yellow flag out for Albon. Yeah. Okay, Antonelli now is hot on Russell's heels. Let's see what he can do. It always seems like Antonelli is charging up his batteries just a little bit more. And also, folks, if you were just watching the broadcast there, you'll have seen this little piece of plastic fly around on the circuit. That is a visor tear-off from one of the helmets. So on the driver's helmets, to prevent, their helmets just fogging up or getting filled with bugs or whatever it is, they have these little pieces of plastic that they can tear off. And they've torn it off and thrown it off to the side. If that got ingested into one of the engine ducts and the cooling ducts, that's big trouble, essentially. So got to be careful about that one. And but yeah, as of right now, hasn't got into anyone's inlet. Russell to the inside, Antonelli to the outside, in towards turn number 13. Russell gets a good enough exit. Antonelli doing a lot of battery recharging. He's now going to deploy absolutely everything that he has got. And there's a huge overspeed as they go in towards turn number 1. Russell still hangs on, and Antonelli's going to try around the outside at turn number 2, but that is practically impossible, as we've said earlier, because it is such a long corner. And Russell is doing impeccable defensive work, just by the textbook, putting his car in the right place. Antonelli can do nothing about it. Alright, we've got Hülkenberg Alonso coming out of the pit lane. They started the race on the softs, and Alonso is back out on softs, okay, and Hülkenberg actually started on inters. He went on to softs and now he's on to mediums. Can Max catch the Mercedes? No. The gap has just been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as the laps go by, I mean, look at that. On the previous lap, Verstappen a full second slower than Russell. Okay, Antonelli once again now trying to get ahead of George Russell. On this occasion, Russell has got one of the Cadillacs ahead of him. That might get in the way in the form of traffic, and... Oh, and that is Antonelli up ahead, and I think Russell's going to blame that one on traffic. I'm sure he's going to come over the radio and say that it's the traffic's fault, because Antonelli now in the lead of this race, and Russell cannot get the overtake done in towards turn 1. Yeah, cue the moaning on the radio. But Antonelli's pulled it off, right? The circumstances are the circumstances, right? There was a piece of traffic, there was a driver there in the form of traffic. Antonelli took advantage of it, and there you go. We got Hamilton losing the position. Oh, Hamilton dropping quite a lot back there from Max. I don't know if is he going slowly, or did he just make a mistake? But he was only half a second back from Max, and now he's 5 seconds off. Yeah. Don't know what happened. Was it a big lockup for Hamilton? Okay, big lockup. Cheers. Purple first sector there for Antonelli now, and is doing his best to drive off into the distance. Not great there. Lock up turn 8, right? You could bounce all over the grass, potentially damage your floor. It's, big, not the greatest corner to be making a mistake at. Well, to be fair, anywhere in Canada here, the walls are so close, you don't want to be making a mistake anywhere. Okay, and George, what can he do now? Antonelli has got one of the McLarens ahead of him now. That's Lando Norris. That's going to be giving him a bit of a tow, helping him out, stay ahead of George Russell. Is Norris going to get out of the way for both of them? Yes, he is. Good job there from him. And now, George Russell could try the undercut. If there was any time to try the undercut, it is now. Get over the radio, say, I want to come into the pit lane on this lap, and put on a fresh set of medium tyres, go out, bang out a fastest lap of the race, and you can undercut your rival. Let's see if either of the drivers have got the foresight to do that, because it is now pit stop window time. We've got 45 laps left. The medium tyres and the hard tyres, either of them could go to the end, but yeah, you've got to have that extra mental capacity while you're driving a car at 200 miles an hour. You've got to have that capacity to think, oh, what's the best strategy as of right now? Let's see if there's any team radios coming through. Russell sends a dive bomb in towards the chicane, says job done, and let's see now if he can secure the overtake. It didn't work out very well for Antonelli. Russell now on the inside line. Antonelli swoops round the outside in towards turn number 14, and they touch, and Antonelli cuts the corner. He gets P1, and either he's going to give back that position, otherwise I feel like there's going to be a few penalties getting dished out there. He did cut that corner quite majorly, and yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, he's going to come over the radio and argue, being like, I was ahead at the apex and he didn't give me space, but we'll see. All right, thanks for the donation there, HG Han 301. Much appreciated there, buddy. Thank you for the channel, F1 Gamer. Cheers. I mean, I'm glad that you guys enjoy. I mean, we can see that people hitting the like button, people hitting the subscribe button. We're about 300 subscribers away from 240k. It would be incredible if we could hit that. And Russell gets ahead of Antonelli. I think Antonelli. Antonelli says, mate, he pushed me off the track. I was ahead. What's the point? As expected, really. But they swapped around positions because I think Antonelli knows that if he doesn't swap around positions, he will get a penalty. And now he's going to try and re-overtake Russell ASAP. Give him the position back at turn number 8. Re-overtake him at turn number 10. Good thinking. And, well, he's got the slipstream, he's got the DRS, he's got the overspeed, and he goes down in towards turn number 14. Can he pull off the manoeuvre? No, he cannot. George Russell, by the finest of margins, still stays ahead of Kimi Antonelli. And Lando Norris, in fact, who let both of the drivers by in the form of traffic, is now keeping up with them. So, George Russell is our race leader as of this very moment. What happened with McLaren? They started the race on the intermediate tyres, and then both the drivers got damaged. Their cars had to come into the pits again after they pit for the first time to switch onto slicks. So 2 pit stops, one for inters to switching to slicks, and the second one from damage. So, yeah, that's why they're so far back. Does the team report it to the race director? No, I think the teams, if they just internally switch themselves, the race director's not going to do anything. All right. What's saying? Okay, Kimi, we've got to tidy up this racing. We need to keep it clean. That's the radio message to Kimi. And then Russell is saying, I'm having a boat call. I'm not sure. Oh, Kimi says, it's tidy. They won't stop me. They won't stop me racing. They won't have to stop me racing. Okay. Oh no, they said stop your racing, message from pit wall. What's going on here, guys? The racing, we will have to stop it. interesting team radio messages here. I don't know if the driver's going to listen. I mean, I think Kimi is going to say like, sorry, I don't understand English, Italian only, please. And he's going to continue on battling because, it's getting quite feisty up at the front. Norris is enjoying the drama. I'm sure Norris, you can see there, Norris just behind both of the little dots for the Mercedes cars, and he's getting a nice view. I mean, he's down in 12th position. He might as well watch the battle for the lead. Okay, Fernando Alonso dives into the pit lane after doing 3 laps on soft tyres. Is that him retiring? Is that him going to continue to come out? We'll see. Currently it says 0 kilometers per hour for Fernando Alonso on his GPS reading, so I think that might be Alonso retiring from this race. Unfortunate there for Fernando Alonso, and had a really good start to the race, and it seems like it's that's the end of the race for him, unless he comes out in 5 laps time, which is entirely likely given how this season has gone for the Astons. Lando Norris has got a VIP plus ticket. Yeah, exactly. Watching it on track, not just from the grandstands. Okay, George Russell, Kimi Antonelli, gap 3.5 tenths, 2 tenths. Kimi Antonelli with a huge overspeed, 20 kilometers per hour quicker down the straight. He tries in towards turn number 1, but again, too far back, and turn number 1, tricky overtaking opportunity really, because turn 2 is so long that it becomes very hard to complete that overtake. Both cars under investigation. Who's under investigation? We've got Lawson and Hulkenberg under... Antonelli and Russell have been noted. However, I suspect that will not go under investigation. They've just been noted. Let me double check. Yeah, they've just been noted. It hasn't come through, at least on my race control, saying under investigation. So it just says noted. And I think it'll remain at that because they've swapped around positions. They're not going to do anything past that. Oh, they said on team radio under investigation. Oh. Well, on race control it doesn't say that, so maybe they're just lying to their drivers? No, nothing. Oh, Piastri had a 10-second time penalty for when he crashed into Albon. So, he's got that also to go with. He crashed into Albon and retired Albon from the race and got damage himself. So that's why Piastri's got a 10-second time penalty. Forgot to mention that. Okay. So, up at the front, the only battle that we have going on right now in the top 10 is just at just between first and second position. I mean, look, I'm totally just presenting to you the information that I've got, right? And the information says, turn 13 incident involving cars number 12, Antonelli, and 63, George Russell, has been noted. Typically, after they note it, they say, under investigation. But that's not the case. That has not come through. So, I'm not sure. Either way, it's a good fight, right? It's carrying on. Let's just enjoy it while it lasts. One of the drivers, surely, come on, you got to realize that the undercut is going to help you out quite a bit here. We'll see. 26,000 people watching the live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in, folks. Hope you're all enjoying the coverage. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be sure to hit the like button if you are enjoying. And I'll be commentating for Monaco in a couple of weeks' time. That will be nice and exciting as well. Is the undercut better or the overcut? The undercut will be good around here, especially with tyres that are now 30 laps old. It's almost guaranteed, even though that your medium tyres will be slightly cold, your medium tyres will be quite a bit quicker. Rain update, as of right now, it doesn't look like there's any more rain arriving. You can keep your eyes out on the radios, but as far as I can tell, I've not seen much. They're playing chicken, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. But to be fair, all of the drivers in the top 6 haven't pitted. Just Antonelli overtakes Russell in towards... so someone going slowly. Russell's going slowly. Is that an issue for George Russell? He's stopped at the side of the circuit. The steering wheel's out. And game over for George Russell. Oh my goodness me. In a mental turn of events, he's just thrown his hands device over over the halo, and he is absolutely fuming. So is the car. They've got smoke coming out those front brake ducts, and he slams the car with his hands, and George Russell retires from the race. Oh my god, technical issues, and things are just not going his way. The Drivers' Championship was already being led by Kimi Antonelli, and now it might look like Anthony gets another 25 points to his name if it continues like this, and Russell with 0. Oh, engine failure, ladies and gentlemen, for George Russell. Engine failure. VSC has been deployed. Now's a perfect time to come into the pit lane. Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, all of them should dive in ASAP. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't pit earlier. It was pretty obvious Russell was gonna call a VSC, but I digress. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel pretty bad for George. Like he was. Look, he's not been in the greatest of form, right? Antonelli has been beating him, and he's now finally been fighting. And we've had some great battles in the first half of this race, and then he gets an engine failure. All right. Yeah, we got some more drivers coming into the pits there. Colapinto, Lawson dive into the pit lane. Yeah, absolute cinema, really. It's quite crazy. And there you go. You see everyone coming into the pits there. Gasly and Berman also into the pits now. Was there damage to his car? As far as I can tell, no. It did not seem like he had incurred any sort of damage from, the battles with Antonelli. Everything seemed totally smooth. So, yeah, a bit uncertain really as to what may have caused that. But, it's new engines, right? They're getting pushed to their limits. And, yeah, it's tough to say. By the way, folks, thanks everyone for tuning in. Big shout out to the 27,000 of you that are listening to me yap about Formula One. Much appreciated. And yeah, everyone else coming into the pit lane now with probably putting on a set of mediums or hards to go to the end of the race. We've got Verstappen coming out on a set of hards. Sorry, Verstappen coming out on a set of mediums. Chosen Mal, thanks for the $2 donation. If the top three stay in place, that's the podium I've never saw. Anthony, Verstappen, and Hamilton. Yeah, I don't think that's happened before. We've got Leclerc loses the position to Hadjar in the pits. How's that happened? Did Leclerc didn't have a penalty or anything, right? How's he lost the position to Hadjar in the pit lane? It was a double pit stop for Ferrari. Oh, brilliant. I mean, the luck just can't get worse for Charles Leclerc. He had a pretty bad sprint race and pretty bad quali, and double pit stop for the Ferrari team, and Charles Leclerc loses a position to Hadjar. Yeah, we have George Russell. He just has smoke coming out of the car as he gets onto the brakes for turn number 8 and then just stops at the side of the circuit. VSC is ending. Track is clear. Russell's car has been pushed off, and Russell is absolutely, well, rightfully so, just utterly annoyed. Right, track is clear. We are racing once again, folks. Max Verstappen is 6 seconds back from Kimi Antonelli. We've got the gaps will shrink down as everyone's been behind VSC conditions as of right now. So F1 Gamer, what the standings look like if the positions stay as they are. I'll pop that onto the screen right now. Actually, give me a sec. So if the race was to finish as it is right now, you'd have Antonelli with 131 points, Russell with no points gained, still at 88, Leclerc with 73, Hamilton with 69, and Norris 60. So that's what it would look like. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put that up on the screen actually, because I'm sure we'll get a lot of people asking about what happened to Russell. Okay. Yeah. How's Colapinto up in 6th position? Mental Colapinto, really. Nice job there in the first stint on the medium tyres. 30 laps completed. He's now on a set of hards to go to the end of the race. And, he's got a 11-second gap to Lawson behind him, and he's got a 30-second gap to Charles Leclerc ahead of him. So a bit of a no man's land, but 6th position looks pretty good for Colapinto. We see a Red Bull P2, P3. Well, maybe, but I think Leclerc is quicker than Hadjar on pure pace, and, he's catching up to him right now. Okay. Yeah, lap number 34 of 68. Here we are at the halfway point of the race. Nah, Russell is completely incapable of winning. Dude has a rocket ship this year and can't lead properly. I don't think so. I don't think that's totally true. I think that Antonelli is, of course, giving him a very good run for his money. And as we saw today, I mean, he's definitely very good at defending. His quality performance yesterday was pretty outstanding. So, Russell's got the pace for it, but form has not been on his side, and neither has luck. So, and, as much as I think a lot of people would like to disagree, but luck is required to win a championship, right? Like, there is all elements of luck in every single championship that is won. So, oh my goodness me, Isaac Hadjar closes the door on Charles Leclerc, and Leclerc's to hit the brakes halfway down the straight, ladies and gentlemen. That might be, he might get a bit of a warning there from the FIA. Yeah, Leclerc, if you look at the telemetry there, Leclerc hit the brakes while going down the back straight because Hadjar got in the way. Okay. Fernando Alonso, no further investigation after the yellow flag infringement when he was driving a little bit quickly due to the yellow flag caused by Albon. Either way, it doesn't matter because Alonso's retired from the race. And Leclerc saying, okay, yeah, Leclerc's not too happy and they're complaining over the radio. Rightfully so. And we'll see if something goes on there from the steward side of things. Why did Russell stop? It says there just to the left of me. Power unit failure. It's probably Russell's worst nightmare. Imagine starting in a World Championship car and winning, and then you have a junior teammate beating you. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a thing for a lot of. This is a thing for a lot of drivers in general, right? You don't want to be beaten by your up and coming rookie driver. So. No, both Red Bull and McLaren, both Red Bull and Ferrari, running the Macarena wing. You can see the nice little flip over that occurs, and and Hadjar recharging his battery in towards turn number 1. Charles Leclerc doing the same, and we'll see if Leclerc can pull off a move in the next couple of laps. But that's the battle that we're going to be watching our eyes on mostly. I mean, look, there's only one driver within 1 second of the driver ahead of them, and that's Charles Leclerc and Isaac Hadjar. Norris is again pretty close to Gasly, but that's a bit of a one-sided fight, isn't it? Okay, Hadjar has been noted for a yellow flag infringement. He's not been noted for what he did about 2 laps ago, though, so okay. And we've got a purple middle sector there for Lewis Hamilton. Nicely done from him. And yeah, I'll be looking to close that gap up to Max Verstappen. We'll see if he can get it done. There is always a chance with 33 laps remaining of this race. Let's wait and see. Why doesn't Kimi have a penalty 4 times out of the track? Well, because probably when he cut the corner, he gave the position back to Russell. So that's why he doesn't get a penalty, because, you give the position back and there's no reason to give you a penalty at the end of the day. Alrighty, and in towards turn number 1, and again, Charles Leclerc not close enough to overtake Isaac Hadjar. Max doing better than expected. That is correct. Looking at what his quality performance was like yesterday and how much he was complaining over the radio about how the car wouldn't get switched on, he's not doing half bad. And this is a sort of a typical racing driver symptom, isn't it? They complain all day, and then the following day they're all good. But even then, good job there from Max, and he's hanging on to second position. It's unlikely that he's going to be able to close the gap really to Antonelli, but we'll see what he can do against Hamilton. And Charles Leclerc now going in towards turn number 13. How much extra speed does he have going down that straight? You can see Isaac Hadjar going 320, Charles Leclerc doing 330. So only a 10 km per hour top speed difference there. Typically, in the past between Antonelli and Russell, we've seen 15 km per hour, but 10 is what we're seeing right now between the Ferrari and the Red Bull. Fastest lap of the race there from Lewis Hamilton, lapping quicker than Kimi Antonelli at this very moment in time. So yeah, I think Hamilton's very much got his sights set on P2. Is Russell out of power unit swaps? No, I think he'll still have at least one more power unit to swap to. And also, there's a chance that they can just repair the current power unit. Yes, it stopped working right now in the race, but that doesn't mean that it's totally irreparably damaged. It could just mean that they have to repair like, one cylinder head or something, and it'll all be good. Absolutely gutted for George. Yeah, thanks for the donation there, buddy. Roast beef, 1351. Oh no, 2351. Yeah, it is pretty rough there for Russell. But look, what goes around comes around, and I'm sure at some point later down the season, Kimi Antonelli will also get an engine failure when he's going to potentially lead a race. And Isaac Hadjar has also been noted for turn number 13 incident for more than one change in direction. So that could be. Well, that could be a penalty. We'll see how that plays out. But currently, Charles Leclerc is still sat behind Isaac Hadjar, trying to go the long way around at turn number 2. But yeah, he gets the door closed on him, and he knows better to fight that one and stick a nose down the inside there. Or stick a nose down the outside. Kimi Antonelli, fastest lap of the race, takes that away from Lewis by about half a tenth, and still is 7 seconds up on Max. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens to Hadjar, right? Like, it was a bit of a dodgy move when he just pulled off to the side, and Leclerc had to hit the brakes going down the straight, right? Like, I think that's more than enough of an explanation of how dodgy of a move that was. So we'll see if... Look, this is a thing, right? I don't think that Hadjar should be given a 5-second time penalty in this situation. I think the steward should just say, right, swap around positions or get a 5-second time penalty. But the stewards just don't have the power to do that. And to be honest, it looks like it doesn't even matter because Charles Leclerc gets ahead of Isaac Hadjar in towards turn number 13. Job done, bish bash bosh, and P4 for Charles Leclerc. Okay, so that is the completion of lap number 40 of 68 here. Oh, Norris issue for Norris, and he's parked it up. Oh, come on, Norris, you could have caused a safety car, man. But it's gone from bad to worse for the McLarens, and that's probably the third time I'm saying this today, and Lando Norris retires from the race. Yeah. That's him losing the position there to Behrman, and he's stopped at turn number 10, and game's gone. I think that's again a loss of power, is it? It seems like it must have been. It wouldn't have been anything else. Yeah, loss of power, and his steering wheel starts flashing all different colours. So that is that. 2 Mercedes power unit failures throughout this race so far. Alex Albon had a damage from his contact with Piastri, so that's not his reason for retirement. But yes, 2 power unit failures. So this is what I was saying, right? Yes, we are having power unit issues for Russell, but at some point we will also get power unit issues for Antonelli in season, and these things always have their way of working themselves out. All right. It's going to take a while, actually, for Norris to actually drop down all the way into 18th position. There's still a while for Perez, Ocon, and Stroll and Bottas to overtake him. Yeah. Not the 2019 rookies all going down in this race. Yeah, that's a bit odd, actually. How's that happened? Oh, there's a piece of plastic just flying around on the circuit. Not ideal. And we've got Ocon getting ahead of Sergio Perez. Nicely done. All right, faster lap of the race there. And look at that. The gaps up at the front, folks, have closed up a little bit. They were, I think, upwards of 6 seconds and 5 seconds. And now they are down to below 5 seconds for both of the gaps between first and second and third and fourth. Oh, sorry, between second and third. So potential battles here upcoming ahead. Let's see. All of the drivers on the same tyres, right? So it's a little bit boring in that sense, but medium tyres for all of them, they're all 10 laps old. And there you go, Bottas overtakes Norris, and we've got 5 DNFs so far. Very slow lap from Antonelli. Yeah, I mean, his previous lap was a bit slow. He's picked up the pace in the first sector again to compensate, and Hamilton picking up the pace in the middle sector. All right. So, folks, who is your driver of the day? We've had a lot of action. And have we had any outstanding performances? I mean, a part of me wants to give it a little bit to George Russell. Good racing, good driving, and then has a bit of bad luck as well. So extra sympathy points. Maybe Kimi. Obviously, Kimi's been doing a brilliant job as well, right? Maybe Fernando Alonso, right? Great race start. Of course, at the end of the day, the Aston Martin was always going to come right back down, but good racing there from him. Hadjar's also done a pretty good job. It's quite up in the air, actually, isn't it? Hamilton also, actually, 3rd position, up 2 places. Got a big mix today, big mix. Colapinto as well, 6th position in the Alpine. Got to give him some props. Of course, that's partially down to the fact that, the 2 McLarens are out of the contention, so is George Russell. So that's why he's been up in 6th position, otherwise he would have been down in 9th. But regardless. Wait, did someone just crash coming into the pits? Wait, Sergio, is this today's replay? Sergio Perez just crashed coming into the pit lane. Hold up, wait a minute. Oh no, his tyre just imploded. Wait, he didn't crash into the wall or anything. He was just on the brakes and his front suspension just broke. Sergio Perez's front suspension imploded on its own. I'm sure you've all seen that video where the driver is going down the back straight in China and both front wheels pop off, sorry. And that's exactly just what just happened there to Sergio Perez. He gets onto the brakes to go into the pit lane and the front right suspension just breaks. What? I mean, a bit of a convenient position, right? Like he was going into the pit lane anyway, but another DNF here. What is going on today? Yeah, it's plan C for chaos. C for Canada, C for chaos. I mean, look, clearly a little bit too much weight reduction was going on down there at the Cadillac factory. Didn't make their structural elements strong enough. Toto Wolff has left the garage and has gone to console George Russell, who I'm sure isn't too pleased, and yeah, we'll be getting some interesting press conferences from him. A lot of chaos even without the rain. Yeah, that is actually a good point. Okay, but now that being said, now that we've got 6 drivers that have retired, there's nobody even close to anyone right now. Everyone, the closest gap that we've got is 1.7 seconds, and that's between Hadjar and Leclerc. And Hamilton's still gaining, though, compared to Verstappen. That gap now down to 3.6 seconds, so I have a feeling that is going to turn into a battle that we have between Verstappen and Hamilton. Hadjar has just been given a 10-second time penalty for a change of direction. So there you go, folks. Isaac Hadjar, 10-second time penalty. That's look, I said that the stewards ideally should just have the power to switch the 2 drivers around and let them continue racing, but yeah, they don't have the power to do that. They only need the penalty then it's a 10-second time penalty for Hadjar. Not that it matters all that much, because he is 40 seconds ahead of Franco Colapinto, so he's not losing that position. He could even come into the pits and still be fine. He could come into the pits 2 times and still come out ahead of Colapinto, in fact. But yeah, that does mean that if he does overtake Charles Leclerc, he probably is not going to actually get the position at the end of the race. So a bit unfortunate there for him. Jedi Fire, thanks for the thanks for channel membership. Member for 5 months, much appreciated. It's giving Q2 with the bottom 6 out. It is. Yeah, thanks for being a channel member for 5 months, buddy. And yeah, folks, if you are interested in being a channel member, helping out the channel, it's like $1, €1, £1 per month, I think. And yeah, just helps out the channel. Your name is green in the chat, so it's a little bit more of a chance that I'll be reading your messages. But that's about it, really. Yeah, it helps out the channel tremendously. We've got pit lane entry is closed. I think Sergio Perez has dropped some debris in the pit lane entry, so they've closed the pit lane, and VSC has also been deployed for that very reason. And there we go. Okay. Also, folks, we're getting pretty close to 240k subscribers. What is that? 85 subscribers away, 86 subscribers away. So if you haven't hit that like button, be sure to do so. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. We've got a marshal out on the track. He's just picked up that piece of debris, jumps over the barrier, and, well, the VSC is about to end. All right, the marshal's on track, and yeah, he's picked up the piece of debris, so VSC should be ending shortly. Pit lane entry is open, and yeah, we'll have the VSC ending, there we go, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, apparently not, apparently a few more seconds, but yeah, VSC is about to end. There we go, track clear. Okie dokes. Lap number 47 of 68 as of this very moment. We've got 22 laps remaining of this race. Oh, look at that. We're only 50 subscribers away now. Fantastic, folks. Much appreciated, everyone subscribing. You know, it helps out the channel tremendously. And, you know, I'd very much like to hit 250k. That's the overall aim, I think. So, yeah, if we hit that, then that would be mega. Okie dokes, Bottas has been noted for speeding in the pit lane. All right. Not a good day for Cadillac. One driver has their suspension brake in the pit lane. The other driver is 3 laps down and is currently under investigation for speeding in the pits. Not ideal. Also, looking at this, the top 7 drivers are the only drivers that are not on the lead lap. And in fact, just as I say that, it turns into the top 6 drivers that are on the lead lap. Liam Lawson just gets lapped there. And that is another driver that has been lapped now. Did Anthony get a penalty? No. No penalty for Antonelli. If Stroll makes it to the end, it'll be his highest finish in a while. Yeah, it will just be it'll be a high finish by default. Valtteri Bottas has been given a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Bit unfortunate. I'm not sure exactly how he did that, but probably either just a lockup or, yeah, probably just most likely a lockup on the way in. I don't even think anything will happen to Hadjar even after the penalty. Yeah, no, that's nothing will happen. Hadjar is now 44 seconds ahead of Colapinto, so yeah, that 10-second time penalty is totally and completely insignificant. Goal reached. Oh, brilliant. We hit 240k. Fantastic. Yeah, once again, I mean, I say this every time, but it's mental to think that there are 240,000 people around the world that have hit the subscribe button, but yeah, appreciate all of you that have. I mean, it's an entire stadium full, maybe even 2. So yeah, my pleasure to commentate to you guys, and I'm glad that you enjoyed the coverage. Okay. Up at the front of the race, we've got Kimi Antonelli, purple first sector, Hamilton, purple second sector, and that gap has slowly been edging down, right? It's now gone down from 5 seconds to 3.6 seconds to 2.5 seconds, and Hamilton is getting closer and closer to Max Verstappen. Forced ADI, depending on the stadium. Yeah, maybe, yeah. F1 Gamer, you've earned it. Great content, thanks. Yeah, no, cheers for tuning in, folks. The content only exists because you guys tune in, so yeah, big shout out to you guys as well. All right, crikey, what a race this has been. We can do this, guys. I'm pushing Hamilton over the radio. Hamilton, I think, yeah, Hamilton's over the radio motivating his engineers. Interesting circumstance. Typically, it's the other way around. It's the engineer coming over the radio to motivate the driver, but Hamilton here is coming over the radio saying to the team, "Yeah, believe in me. We can do this." What's Piastri said over the radio? I've missed it, folks. Can someone quickly just quickly summarize? I know a lot of you have just messaged Piastri question mark. He might get into the points though. He's only 7 seconds back from Behrman with still 19 laps left to go. Oh, did he? Just a bit of a casual bit of swearing over the radio. Fair enough. We got Sergio Perez investigated at the end of the race for ignoring blue flags. I mean, like, look at this, guys. He's retired. He's in a Cadillac. He's probably going to score 0 points this season. Just, give it a rest. All right, Leclerc's been told over the radio. Oh no! Leclerc's been told over the radio. Hamilton picking up the pace, 15.0, and Leclerc says, "Do not speak to me until it is the last lap, and then on the last lap, tell me it is the last lap, unless it is something absolutely critical." Oh, he's had absolutely enough of this, hasn't he, Charles Leclerc? Oh my God, where has it gone? It is. Yeah, there we go. It's so over, folks. It's. Yeah, I mean, Charles Leclerc's radios are always the best, but how the Ferrari drivers do it, I don't know, man. He's been complaining over the radio for the past, 7 years now. Kimi Antonelli fastest lap of the race, a 1:14.770. Max Verstappen does a 15.0. Seemingly after Ferrari come over the radio announcing Hamilton's target lap time, Verstappen goes and matches that said target lap time. It's interesting how that one worked, isn't it? Okay. Okie dokes, Hadjar getting within 1 second of Leclerc. I mean, I think Hadjar should just not worry about this, to be honest, because he's still got a 10-second time penalty, unless he thinks he can overtake Leclerc and then also pull out a 10-second gap. I don't know. To be fair, why would the Ferrari engineer tell that to Charles? What is the point of that data? I presume in some sort of effort to help to try and get him to speed up, but yeah, even that, like, he's going to speed up and do what exactly? Like, catch Lewis Hamilton and then get stuck behind him because Hamilton's approaching Max Verstappen right now? Like, I don't know. Oh, mate. Honestly, what's his race been? Race been out of 10 so far? I've got to say, 10 out of 10. No, we've had the great battles in the first half of the race between Russell and Antonelli. Then we had a few more squabbles here and there between Leclerc and Hadjar and Fernando Alonso making up loads of places. And now we've got some great radio messages. So I've got to say, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 so far. I'm sure, of course, if your favourite driver is George Russell or Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri, you're not going to be too pleased with this, but there's also a very good chance that if your favourite driver is George Russell, you've probably just turned off the live stream right now. Yeah. This race is compensating for Monaco. Yeah, we'll see how Monaco goes. I mean, the cars are ever so slightly narrower than they were before, but it was the case, right? Last year in Monaco, we only had one overtake. It was just Stroll that pulled off one overtake around the Nouvelle chicane, and with the exception of that, I think that was it, right? Oh, double yellow flag. Spoke a little bit too soon. VSC deployed. Who's going slowly? What's happened? I look away for 1 second and we have a VSC. Looks like it's at turn number 10. Someone's going slowly. Is that Bearman Ocon? What's going on? We got Isaac Hadjar into the pit lane there. Can you serve a time penalty under safety car conditions? I'm pretty sure you can't. At least that's what I thought the rule was, but we're about to find out because Red Bull have just brought Hadjar into the pits. And yeah, they are... Yeah, apparently you can serve a time penalty under safety car conditions then. And Hadjar's getting his tyres changed. But what's the VSC for again? Bottas in the pits, Piastri's into the pits. Oh, there must be a piece of debris at turn number 11 and 10. Yeah. And Piastri serving his penalty as well. Okay, so you can serve penalties in the VSC. I don't know why. I thought that was different, but... There you go, tyres changed for Oscar Piastri, and he's got a fresh set of softs to go to the end of the race, I think. Or he's got a fresh set of softs. And that penalty was for crashing into Alex Albon, by the way. Yeah. And that resulted in Alex Albon retiring, so, fair enough. No, your accent, mate, very soothing. Well, thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, it's bound to happen given that I live in the UK. VSC is ending now, folks. We've got about 10 seconds now till we go racing again. It's so nice to have a commentator who isn't paid by the FIA. Oh, well. Thank you very much. I do my best to stay unbiased. If Seb Vettel was racing right now, I'd be the most biased person you've ever seen, but, he's not, and I'm not too fussed, really, who wins. It's just getting some good racing, really. That'd be fun. Charles Leclerc, huge tank slapper out of turn number 14, barely manages to keep it out of the wall, and... yeah, not great. He's flat spotted his tyres as well. You can see that in the slow-mo. So more likely to lock up in the next couple of laps. So he's got to be careful there. Alright, folks. We're also getting pretty close to 5,000 likes. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. And looks like Colapinto is getting close to being lapped. That might be only the top 5 remain on the lead lap. The last time I remember this happening was either 2019 or 2020 in Spain, but my memory isn't that great in between all of the other ones. But I know for a fact 2019 or 2020 in the Spanish Grand Prix, we had the top 6 on the lead lap and everyone else was already lapped. So it's been a while, but I'm sure there's been a few other races where we've had similar things. Okay. Bortoletto's been noted for a VSC infringement. Hamilton is within 1 second of Max Verstappen, folks. Here we go. Final 14 laps of the race. We've got a battle on our hands for second position. Hamilton versus Verstappen. What is this? 2021 all over again. Okay. Antonelli's on cruise control. Yeah, sort of really. That previous lap, of course, was from when the VSC was still out, so that's why it's a bit slow. But yeah, Anthony's comfortably leading this race, and now that we know Verstappen and Hamilton are going to battle, it's not really a problem for him. I really am a fan, but also I'm a troll, so yeah. Well, cheers for the donation there, Soft Weekly, much appreciated. Alright, so here we go then. Lewis Hamilton looking to overtake Max Verstappen. How is this one going to play out? They've both got the top speed mode. They've both got... Hamilton is the only one that's got to overtake. Verstappen has not. We'll keep an eye out on their top speeds going down the straights, and we'll see who's deploying more battery, who's got more energy available to them, and who is going to get second position. Here we go then, folks. It's getting pretty feisty. Both drivers using as much track as they possibly can here, right? Absolutely every bit of track that they've got their hands on, they're going to try and use. And, well, let's see how it goes for them. Lewis Hamilton gets onto the power out of turn number 10, and let's have a look at the top speeds then. Max Verstappen is approaching 315, Lewis Hamilton 330. That is a huge overspeed there from Lewis. Verstappen goes defensive, Hamilton to the outside. Verstappen has now compromised his line going down the start-finish straight. He gets a bit of an oversteer coming out of turn number 14. Hamilton pedal to the metal, Verstappen recharging his battery early, Hamilton down the inside, Verstappen closes the door on him, and well, he stays in the lead by the finest of margins. There was about 10-20 centimetres between the front wing of Hamilton and the rear wheel of Verstappen. But that's close racing for you folks, and these drivers are pretty dang experienced. Came late, why is Piastri lacking pace? Does he have damage? Yeah, Piastri probably does have damage from the impact that he had with Albon, and also he's pitted way more than everyone else. So that's why he's so far back. Which version of the Macarena wing do you think is more effective, Red Bull or Ferrari? I reckon they're actually that pretty similar. I know the Red Bull one looks bigger in terms of the gap in the rear wing, but I've done a bit of aerodynamics in my engineering degree, and that's not going to have that big of an impact at the speeds that they're going at. Okay. And here they go then, again into turn 14. Oh, a bit of sparks flying out there from Lewis Hamilton's front wing, but he manages to keep it on the road. And Verstappen now starting to move directions, trying to avoid Hamilton slipstreaming him. And here they go in towards turn number 1, and Verstappen stays ahead by just about a car's length. Bottas lapped 4 times. Oh my god, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I mean, Bottas has pitted more than most people, but also, yeah, it's not great. Okay then, so as they now go towards turn number 8, let's look at these top speeds here, right? We've only got Hamilton's only going about 5 to 10 kilometers per hour quicker down there in towards turn number 8. So he's not using all of his power there. In fact, he comes over the radio saying, I need more power, mate. So I don't know, this is essentially a zero-sum game. You've got to conserve power somewhere else to then deploy it where you actually need it. And it's a bit of a tough one there for Lewis. So where is he going to save power to then... Yeah, where's he going to save power to then deploy more of it? Because he's still got to push for the entire lap, right? Okay. And coming down the main straight, the top speed difference is, again, 15 k's per hour. It's really hard to overtake for Hamilton. Tyres aging too much, hard to overtake every lap. Yeah, but we've got 10 laps left to go, right? 10 laps left to go. There's always the chance that, Verstappen picks up a little bit of oversteer coming out of one of these corners, and then that gives Hamilton an opportunity to attack, right? This is what you need. You just need a tiny little mistake, and that's enough to make that overtake work. But Verstappen's not giving up so easily. He goes second fastest in sector number 1 there, about half a tenth slower than Antonelli's record. And, well, yeah, he's pushing nice and hard. Both of the drivers aren't catching Antonelli, though. Up in 8th position, 8 seconds ahead is Antonelli. Also, as far as I know, I don't think anyone as young as Antonelli has won 4 races in a row, right? I mean, Antonelli has just done a mega job this season. Of course, he's had a bit of luck on his side, but regardless, his driving has been nearly flawless. 4 in a row, that would be mental. Okay. We've also got Gasly catching Liam Lawson, so that could be 6th and 7th position there for the 2 Alpines, if Gasly can pull that manoeuvre off. And Hulkenberg is in P11, folks. Oh my god, Hulkenberg in P11. I mean, is that surprising whatsoever? It's not. It's a match made in heaven, in fact. Hulkenberg has been in P11, I think, just on so many occasions. I don't know the exact number so far this season, but in the sprint race, if you include the sprint races, the qualies, and the races, Hulkenberg and P11 cursed with consistency, unfortunately. All right, Hamilton gains about 0.4 of a second just going through turn number 10 there. A big gain in time. And now let's look at the top speed. So how Verstappen going 3:18 till he starts clipping, and then at 3:08, whereas Hamilton is doing 3:27. So 20 kilometers per hour is the advantage that Lewis Hamilton has down the back straight, but it's still just not enough. Oh, have I been saying DRS? Maybe I've been saying DRS. I think you guys know what I mean, right? Overtake mode. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's just a habit that I've been trained for doing the last 6 years now. Oh my god, I've been doing commentary for 6 years. No, someone in chat did. Oh, okay. Yeah. Rip DRS. It was Antonelli, right? Antonelli was the last driver to use DRS, or maybe it was Stroll in Abu Dhabi 2025. Lewis Hamilton still within that 1 second. Wait, they've just come over the radio to Max saying, Max, could you avoid drifting when you open? So avoid shifting if you can as well. So more gearbox issues. So they've told Max, don't drift the car. Also, don't shift the car. Front lock up at turn 10 there. Oh, yellow flag, what's this? Hulkenberg, we were saying he's stuck in P11, and now there's a yellow flag, and he's managed to get going again, all right. He still might stay in P11, even after the mistake. And up at the front, yeah, again, very close, but Verstappen is just hanging on. However, that might not last so long. Hamilton so late on the brakes, round the outside through turn number 1, has the inside line for turn number 2, says, see you later, thank you very much. Colapinto gets out of the way for both of them, and they go into turn 3. Hamilton is in P2, Verstappen in P3. Nicely done. Fastest lap of the race there for Antonelli. Just to remind you guys that he's the real winner here. We've got a bit of battle here between second position, but Antonelli now nearly 10 seconds clear. Is Max going to re-overtake? Let's wait and see. Right. Does Max have the battery to re-overtake? Has Hamilton used all of his battery? We'll find out. Nico Hulkenberg, we've just got the replay here from him. He touched a bit of grass on the entry in towards turn 1. Managed to keep the car pointing in the opposite direction, but keep the car going regardless. And here they are now, coming out of turn number 10. Max Verstappen, 7/10 back. How much of a top speed advantage will he have? Not that much, actually. It looks to be about 10 kilometers per hour, 12 kilometers per hour. Not a huge amount. But he's staying within range, right? Game on, right, guys? Please don't show us Lewis Hamilton's mum. Please show us the race, because that is, of course, a little bit more important. And Verstappen, so close to the inside. He's filling up Hamilton's mirrors. This is a pretty known tactic, right? You just dart out to the side, ever so slightly, to the left or to the right. Get your driver get your car into the other driver's mirror. It just off puts them a little bit. They're like, oh, this driver's trying to make a move. Gotta be careful. I think we're going to need an extended highlights for this one, not going to lie. Extended highlights, it's got to be done. Okay. Lap number 63 of 68, and the gap is 0.6 of a second as they exit the final corner. Well, not the final corner, turn number 10. That's nowhere near the final corner. And again, on this occasion, Verstappen's top speed advantage is not that big. He's only about 5 kilometers per hour, 6 kilometers per hour quicker down that straight. However, then through the exit of turn number 14, that's when he really starts to pick up the deployment. And I think that's when there you go. Look at that, 20 kilometers per hour, nearly 25 kilometers per hour advantage down the main straight. So the back straight between turns number 11 and 13, the Red Bull isn't deploying as much power, but then down the main straight, he is. So Verstappen's ideal overtaking opportunity in towards turn 1. But we'll see. I mean, Hamilton's done a brilliant job so far, and we know that he knows how to defend. So we'll see if he can hold on to this one. 5 laps remain of this race. Did Hadjar get lapped? Hadjar did get lapped. Oh my god, only the top 4 drivers are on the lead lap of this race. What? Top 4? As yeah, we've got... What was I going to say? Yeah, a few more suggestions they're saying to Lewis Hamilton over the radio. You know, things to change on the settings on his steering wheel, the diff settings specifically, to just get him a bit more performance, a bit more rotation through the corners. Yeah, Hadjar came into the pits. That probably resulted in him getting lapped. But either way, like, he's been lapped, so... All right. With 4 laps after this race, are we going to get a battle here on the last lap of the race? I think we are, folks. I think we are. I don't think Verstappen is going to fall off the back of Hamilton. We've got about, what is this, 15 kilometers remaining of racing between Verstappen and Hamilton. I think it's going to go right down to the wire. I mean, I'd love to see a photo finish, right? Apparently the Indy 500 was a photo finish, and I'll watch the replay for that soon enough, but... be even better if the Formula 1 is a photo finish. We've got 28,000 people tuned into live stream. Cheers everyone for tuning in. If you are enjoying, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll be live for Monaco. I suspect it'll be a little bit less exciting than this, but we've got more exciting races up and coming soon enough. All right. And here we go then, folks. 8/10 is the gap as they go down the back straight. Again, as we know, Verstappen not deploying that much power. He's only 10k per hour quicker down that straight. However, the following straight, he might be able to pull something off. If Hamilton makes even the slightest of mistakes, Verstappen's going to be right there. Okay, Hadjar served his stop-go penalty for a yellow flag infringement, so he was driving too quickly during yellow flags. That was a stop-go penalty, and that's why he is so far back. So... there you go. And that's why he's been lapped as well. What happened to Leclerc? Leclerc's just not having a good day, really. He told his engineer to stop talking to him over the radio. And, yeah, he's just been driving a car that he doesn't particularly like driving. To be honest, I could probably move my webcam over here now that all of these drivers have DNF'd. Make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Charles Leclerc says, my mouth is freaking out. I'm struggling with the pressure. Copy that, no risks. Wait, what pressure? Charles Leclerc is, 40 seconds ahead of Isaac Hadjar, 26 seconds behind Max Verstappen. I don't think he's under a huge amount of pressure. Either way, going in towards turn number 13 and 14, let's see what happens there between Verstappen and Hamilton. And they are neck and neck, but... well, they're not neck and neck, they're nose to tail, and there's about a car length between them. Piastri gets ahead of Hülkenberg, so Hülkenberg drops down into 12th position. He loses his P11 consistency, and Verstappen trying desperately to go around the outside at turn number 1, but he's just not close enough. And then at turn number 2, Hamilton gets some great drive, Verstappen not so much. And 2 laps remain of this race. We are on lap number 67 of 68, and it's going right down to the wire here, folks. Will Hamilton be able to hold on to P2? Let's wait and see. Kimi Antonelli, though, off in the distance, 10 seconds in the lead of this race, 4 wins in a row if he wins this one. And, well, let's see. Also, we got Colapinto, 6th position, nice job from him. Lawson in 7th, brilliant from him. We will be seeing some points scored by the Williams team in 9th from Carlos Sainz. That's great to see. Okay, Verstappen 1 second back, actually. He drops back with the final lap quickly approaching. He is outside of overtake window. He just gets it as he comes across the green dot there. But... yeah, it's quite close, actually. It's quite close. Kimi Antonelli starts the final lap of this race. And we've got a bit of traffic up ahead, actually. Piastri, Hülkenberg, they're all coming up in the form of traffic. And Verstappen is right there now. Final lap of the race. Will he pull off a move into the final chicane? Let's wait and see. We've got Behrman up into 10th. Oh, no, Behrman was in 10th anyway. Never mind. But Carlos Sainz, by the way, Carlos Sainz started the race on intermediate tyres. So if he had started the race on mediums, who knows where he would have been. That could have been a really, really good race there for Carlos Sainz if it wasn't for the strategy blunder at the start. Okay, well, here they go then, folks. Piastri and Hülkenberg, they've got to get out of the way. We've got 5-second time penalty for Bortoleto for speeding under the VSC, and Kimi Antonelli now is making his way towards turn number 13 and 14. What a race that he has driven. He's battled fantastically with George Russell. He comes out of the final corner. He sees the checkered flag. 4 in a row for Kimi Antonelli. Sensational from the youngster, and he wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Back behind, we've got Lewis Hamilton in P2, Verstappen in P3. Can he get that advantage to come across the line? No, he cannot. Hamilton in second position, Verstappen in third, Charles Leclerc in P4, and Isaac Hadjar in P5, 1 lap down already. Wow, oh my goodness me. We've got Gasly versus Lawson into the final lap here. They go through the chicane, and Lawson is just millimeters ahead of Pierre Gasly as they come through that corner. Job done. Liam Lawson gets 7th position, Pierre Gasly in 8th. All right, hammer time is back, ladies and gents, and yeah, Hamilton there in 2nd position. Kimi Antonelli wins the race here in Canada. A great drive, and 4 in a row, and a fastest lap of the race to also end out the day. I mean, what can this man not do? Yeah. Alright, so let me know who your drive of the day is, folks. I've got to say this race was certainly a 10 out of 10. I think most people are going to be voting for Verstappen or Hamilton for drive of the day, and I'll just put up the point standing up on the screen, and that will be the Canadian Grand Prix for you, folks. Okay. So there you go, those are the point standings. You can see that we have Williams scoring some points. In fact, let me just move my webcam. There you go. Williams have got 7 points to their name. And yeah, that is that's all from me, folks. So it's been a great pleasure commentating to you guys. Fantastic Grand Prix, fantastic bit of action. So what I'm going to do, I'll end the stream, I'll take you over to the Monaco Grand Prix stream. So if you could hit the like button on the Monaco Grand Prix stream, it really helps out the algorithm. The channel hasn't been doing so great in the 2026 season because of, like people don't like the regulations and such. So, if you are enjoying the coverage still, then be sure to hit that like button on the Monaco stream when it pops up on your feed. And yeah. Cheers everyone for tuning in. We had a lovely job from Alpine today, lovely drive from them, and the McLaren's big blunder, and they're in 3rd position in the championship, mainly because Red Bull were just so far back, and Ferrari gained 30 points, Mercedes gained 25. Antonelli extends his lead up at the front by a huge margin. This looks very reminiscent of what it was in 2025. No, if you guys remember, I think Piastri, didn't he win like 3 in a row or something, and he had nearly a 50-point advantage over Norris at one point. And then slowly things started turning around for Norris. So, don't write out George Russell just yet. And the Ferraris aren't doing all that badly. I mean, I think slightly aided by the fact that the McLarens totally fumbled today's race. But regardless, some nice points for the Ferrari team. Okay, thank you so much, mate, for the fantastic coverage. Much appreciated, folks. And yeah, we've hit 240k, which is brilliant. And it is, yeah, I think that's all from me, to be honest. So I shall see you all in, I think it's 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time for the Monaco Grand Prix. Yes, that is correct. 2 weeks for the Monaco Grand Prix, and that'll be great fun. So I think that's about it, to be honest. Great race, and a lot of action to discuss. Oh yeah, the final thing, I did not mention Proton VPN whatsoever during the stream, so, if you guys are interested in watching the coverage, actually seeing the cars go around on the circuit and stuff like that, then you can get Proton VPN for $1 a month, and you can, watch it via a VPN on Austrian servers or Swiss servers or whatever you like. Yeah. All right, folks. So that's all from me, and I will see you in 2 weeks. So if you could just hit the like button on the Monaco stream, that'd be fantastic. And I'm going to be talking on the other live streaming platform. It's got purple logo. It starts with a T. I'll be doing a little bit of a post race debrief on there. So I'll see you there. And my name on that platform is also just called F1 Gamer. Okay, so see you in 2 weeks, folks. Bye bye.